What's up, everybody, and welcome to Shapes of Gaming, the weekly conversational podcast all about video games that's unedited, unfiltered, and unhinged. I'm one of your hosts, Matt Stinson, Neocharge on PSN, and joining me for episode number 7, lucky number 7, Bob, is the retro gaming encyclopedia, Bob Harriman himself, Leon Lyon Hartley on PSN. What's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, no, man. It's been a hot minute, huh? How was vacation?
It was good. It was good. I think I talked about Vegas on the last one, and I'm about to go on another one for my mom's 70th birthday party in Myrtle Beach. So I'll be there. I'll be on the beach, and then when I come back, I'll also be on the beach.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Death Stranding too. No, Bob and I and a bunch of other friends hung out pretty much all weekend for Summer Game Fest. There were a ton of events, ton of showcases, and we went over the state of play last episode. But yeah, Summer Game Fest was just getting started then, and we have a lot to go over. The last time you heard us, we were just about to get the Nintendo Switch 2, and we did a midnight release. We were there at Best Buy. We got Torchies just like we said we would. Torchies is delicious. And then we went over and stood in line, met a lot of really cool people, a lot of cool gamers at Best Buy, and we got our Switch 2s at 10:30 p.m. They kind of came and got us and were like, hey, we'll take 6 pre-orders. And we were like, yep. And we all went in. We started lining up at what, 8 p.m. there?
Yeah, I want to say it was around give or take 8 p.m. because I remember looking, going, wow, we've got 2 hours ahead. And it seemed to go by pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You're absolutely right. We made that line. It felt kind of like, if I may, like old school, where you're just waiting and there's a whole line of people. The last time we did that, I don't know about you, but the last time I had that experience was the Wii, way back in the early aughts.
I agree. Actually, I agree. That experience was awesome. I want to do it more. Shout out to your fucking chairs. They were like recliners. You got some awesome chairs, man. So super comfy. We both brought our Switches. And the last time I did that actually was PS4, November of 2013. So we sat in line at GameStop. We had everything pre-ordered, but we wanted to get there, and we were actually first in line. So at the PS4 event at GameStop. But here we got there at like 8. There was just one big line for pre-orders and non-pre-orders. We were probably, what would you say, 40th, 50th in line. We were pretty far back.
Yeah, when we started the sitting in line, that's where we were. By the time we got done, that was a different story altogether. But yeah, definitely, man. Those chairs, I just got to say, that's how you do it. You do not half-ass anything, especially at my age. You just get in comfort, get in the zone, and anybody else can, well, sucks to suck, nerd. Always bring an extra blanket and always bring a water bottle.
Yep. We were well prepared. We sat in line for about 2.5 hours. Loved every second of it. We're around like-minded people. And I got to say, doing that made me miss the old times and the old midnight releases. So yeah, we got in really quick. They had a shitload of Switch 2s. The wall was lined, and it was quite the sight to see. I think they're sold out now already. But we picked up our Switch 2s. We got home probably around 10:30 MST, and we dived in. Let's share our thoughts initially on the hardware of the Switch 2. The setup was pretty easy, connected to Wi-Fi. It had me transfer everything from my old Switch to wireless. It was really quick, actually. I don't know if you remember the DS or 3DS to the new 3DS transfer where all the little Pikmin were bringing the blocks, but that took for fucking ever. And Nintendo really stepped it up with the transfer. And then it had me pull the micro SD card, put the micro SD card in the Switch 2, transferred all my screenshots and videos, and then had me pull it out. And it was ready to go. And you had the same experience, didn't you?
Yeah, this was absolutely the quickest transfer of any system, really. Point blank, whatever Nintendo did, Sony needs to learn their lesson, because if you remember when you did like the PS5 to the Pro baseline transfer, even if you had a wired connection directly between the two, it still took forever and a day. Here it was, hey, I need to transfer some materials. 20, not even 20 minutes, I'd say. What later? It was done. There were your games. There were your save files. There was everything you needed. Um, I think it was a single update that needed to be installed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and all the game updates too. Fun fact about the PS5 transfer: I had to set up my PS5 Pro from scratch because nothing will transfer from my base disc PS5. It's all fucking stuck on there. I can't even get captures or video captures, screenshots. I can't even get them on an external drive. They're like forever stuck on there, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just kind of waiting for a software update or maybe try in like a few months, but everything is stuck on there. And I'm talking, I do a lot of captures, I do a lot of screenshots, just it's so easy. I have the quick screenshot and quick capture. I probably have 150 gigs of captures across probably 4 years because I transferred from PS4 too, but they're kind of stuck on there forever. This wasn't the case with the Switch 2. Switch 2 setup was awesome. We waited for some updates on the games. And what was the first game you fired up?
Excuse me there, folks. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah. The very first thing I went for was that Hyrule Warriors um, game, the one that came after the original, the Age of Calamity. That's the name of it. My brain was farting there.
Yeah.
My hope was a Muso game. High resource utilization that ran absolutely like garbage on the Switch. I did not do my homework and look at which games had updates. I just assumed they were going to just start banging them out, and unfortunately, that wasn't one of them. My taste was a little soured in that regard. What about you, man? What was game Uno number one?
Yeah, I got to say my experience was opposite. I was very impressed. The first Switch 2 game or Switch game I launched on the Switch 2 was, as I promised, Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, and it does have a patch, and it looks and runs like a brand new game. Honestly, it's a little bittersweet because this is the game we should have gotten, and the fact that I had to utilize new hardware to get the game that we should have gotten is a little souring, unfortunately. But man, I can't wait to dive into this game. It was pretty much borderline unplayable on the Switch. I showed you on the Switch all the frame drops and everything, and it alternates between 30 frames and 60 frames. Runs pretty much a lock 60. Not only is the resolution better, the frame rate's better, but the colors, man, the colors are popping because it's utilizing HDR, and it has like the better saturation. It honestly looks like Tunic does on PS4. So very happy about that. The other game I was very impressed with, and again, this should have launched this way, was Pokemon Violet. I downloaded the patch, and it looks and runs like a new game. And I can't be like, oh man, this is awesome, this is incredible. It's just like, come on, guys, why'd you release it in such a broken state? And I'm grateful that I can play it now as it is. That's actually what I've played the most is Scarlet or Pokemon Violet, because it runs it's like a new game. And then Tears of the Kingdom, like a new game. I bought the $10 upgrade, not opposed to doing that at all. It's another thing that kind of sucks. They're charging for an upgrade where these games should have released in this state. But I think we're getting there, Bob. I think Nintendo is really focusing on performance and HDR. And on the last episode, I was like, I think this is the first time I've ever seen a patch notes from Nintendo that have frame rate in the fucking description. And I'm very impressed with how the Switch 2 games that are patched run. But if you have a Switch 2 game or you have a Switch game that has a locked frame rate and doesn't have a patch, it's going to look and run like shit still. So
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I'm hoping, and this is what I've been thinking, man, is so this thing's got about what I've been reading online and based on my experiences, about the same performance as a PS4 Pro in terms of raw computing power, which is amazing. I love this. Right? Don't try to keep up with times. There's no way you're going to make a PS5 handheld, at least not if you're Nintendo right now. I love this system. I just want to put this out there to the folks. I think from a hardware design, this system is amazing. The screen is bigger. It looks sleeker. The battery life leaves a little something to be desired. But if you go deep into the menu options, there's other little touches that just kind of like quality of life of why wasn't this there in the first place, right? Mike, I'm really interested to see what kind of legs this system has, because it's already from a power standpoint a generation behind. And I'm curious what it looks like when you go to next. I don't know. Maybe I'll finally break down and or well, I've already played a bit. Maybe I'll just find a way to play Cyberpunk 2077 just to see what's going on under the hood here.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on the hardware. This Switch, I told you when I got it, I was like, the Switch 1 feels kind of like a toy now, and the Switch 2 is like a premium piece of technology. The first time I unhooked those magnetic Joy-Cons and snapped them back in, so satisfying. This is a premium piece of technology, and the battery life is a little concerning. I played, I don't know, 30 minutes and it was like 66%. So I had the brightness up a lot. I was really wanting to see the enhancements in on a bright screen. And HDR, if you know, utilizes very high brightnesses and very low darkness. That's basically the high dynamic range of your contrast. So if you have the screen really bright, you're probably going to get maybe an hour and a half on it. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. Just a premium product. It feels good. It's a lot bigger. The screens, I wouldn't say the screen is better than the Switch OLED. It's not better than the Switch One OLED. It's just not OLED, and it's LED, and you don't get it definitely gets brighter and it's more colorful. Well, no, I'd say the OLED is more colorful. It gets brighter though, but it doesn't compare to OLED. It doesn't compare to that those light emitting pixels. So yeah, from what I saw though and what I felt, just a premium product. Really love it. We played a Switch 2 game, and you want to talk about that? Pretty much the only Switch 2 first party exclusive.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah, do we want to save this for what we're near the end, like what we're playing? But we've got a lot to go over, man. So
we have a shitload to get over.
Maybe it's best to just talk about it now.
Might as well.
But yeah, we sat down and played Mario Kart World. Both got the bundle that came included with it. So you were only paying $50 versus $80. It's a digital code. It's in the box. You scratch off like it's a lottery ticket. You put in the code and you're good to go. What can we say, man? Well, we started I want to say around midnight the next day. Started playing. Went through Grand Prix mode. We didn't do the knockout tournament, and I'll get around to that and check it out. But this is focusing just on that traditional Grand Prix, going through the circuits, 100cc, so middle of the line, not easy, not getting super hard, and by the time it was all said and done, we finished every one of them by 3:30, I want to say, that morning.
It was about 3.5 hours. We rolled credits on the game. And I like to think of it as it's the ultimate roller coaster ride, right? We literally waited 2.5 hours to get this experience. And then from a standpoint of a video game length, your average video game is 25 hours. The long ones, 50, super long ones. We actually like to play 70, 120 hours. 3.5 hours. If you equate time with value, this doesn't match up at all. If you're buying this standalone, it's $80 and you're getting 3.5 hours. And granted, we didn't dive into the world exploration or anything like that, but from what I've heard the world's very empty, and you're here for the Grand Prix, you're here for the versus, the battle mode, stuff like that. We probably saw, I don't know, 80% of the game. If you're getting this just to play it single player, just to play an entire game, I wouldn't recommend it. It's there for the entire life of this system, and it's probably going to get updated. This is probably just the launch game. It's going to get DLC, probably paid DLC, honestly. And you're going to have it for when friends come over. You're going to throw on Mario Kart. But I have Mario Kart 8 for that too. And from what I played, there are incredible new tracks. It's tight. It's prettier, way prettier. It's I mean, fidelity wise, it's way better. It feels a little better. I actually like 8 better, and it's because of the anti-grav stuff. And there was, from what I saw, there was no anti-grav stuff in it, which is a bummer. And I feel like there wasn't enough added from 8 to World to really justify, I'd say, that price or that experience or the time I invested. I was a little disappointed in it. I got to say, I haven't scratched my code yet. I played yours, we played yours, and we rolled credits, and that's pretty much all you need to know. I haven't scratched my code yet, and I don't know if I will.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't blame you. This is going to be Mario Kart. This will be the, like you said, you got some friends over and you need a party game, or you've got, my case, kids, and they're going to do the sibling rivalry situation. But you're right. Mario Kart 8 has a lot of cool features like the anti-grav, and honestly, we didn't even see any really thing underwater. We saw some really cool water effects, some cool gliding and boat jet ski style stuff, if you will, on top. But that was about it. There's just not enough new features and innovation, if you will, outside of the open world exploration to justify. And even then, the open world exploration, you stay on the cart the entire time. That's like half a GTA, right? That's a half a GTA game where you can never leave the car. And then to make things even worse, I mean, quite frankly, I've seen side by side comparisons. Mario Kart 8 looks pretty much on par with World in terms of its graphical fidelity. It's a little under, but if you weren't actively looking to try to figure it out, you might make a mistake there unless you knew what to look for. So it's a little disappointing, but this is why I am glad I did this plunge, and this is why I said please. And I believe you and I chatted about this before. This is why I said please, Sakurai, do not make another Smash. You crescendoed with Ultimate, just like Mario Kart crescendoed with 8. Leave it alone. Walk away
Yeah,
and go do something else.
I thought they were going to stop with 8 because 8 was the Infinity logo. 8 has like 4 times the amount of tracks World has. Granted, this is the week 1 of World, and we're on like multi-year iterations of 8 Deluxe. 8 Deluxe with all the courses. I don't even know how many there were, but there were more than World. Released on the Switch for $60 MSRP, and it has 2 times the amount of content in my experience. So I don't want to get down on Mario Kart too much. What we played was, like I said, a roller coaster ride. You get on the roller coaster. It's super fun for a little bit, but then you're done. So I would highly, highly recommend, if you do want Mario Kart World, to get the bundle, because you're getting it for, I don't know, 40% less. You're getting it for $50. If I would not recommend buying this game standalone, and that's if you equate value with time, right?
Yep.
If you
Yep.
And we're speaking from our experience and my experience, right? I usually don't do PvP. I usually don't have people over. We're sitting on the couch gaming. I'm usually a single player, narrative driven gamer, and I just don't think I would get the value that's required to buy this game out of it with the time I spend on it. And that's just me. So, and we're just giving you guys a warning. So if you want Mario Kart World there and you have a lot of friends over, you play a lot of Mario Kart, you're going to drop like a ton of hours into it. It's a fun ride. It's got a lot of courses. I'm sure there's going to be more courses that release, paid DLC, and more characters that release. There were a lot of characters, a lot of carts. You can't really modify your cart. You can't really customize it. It's just kind of, you just pick the cart.
Yeah, that was I could probably go all day, but you're absolutely right about this. This is a very the long story short, if if you like Mario Kart, if you like to have people entertain, if you want to hang out with your kids and play on the new Switch 2, go for the bundle. Do not pay $80 for this game, please. It's not going to make much sense. But if you're a person who really likes the ins and outs of games, kart racers, whatever it is, like you're in the, it's more of a hobby and passion than it is a passing. Stay away. Just
Yep.
stay away. I'm being honest. There's not enough meat on those bones, but it looks pretty.
Yeah, and it's very fun. It's like a roller coaster ride. It's not the greatest game to showcase the new power of the Nintendo Switch 2 either. I'd say in a couple years we're going to really see what this system can do. And if it wasn't for the Best Buy card and having the 1 year no interest, I don't think I'd get this console on launch.
If it wasn't for no, you're right, because even Metroid Prime 4 coming, still I'm debating if that would even be enough, because that's going to be a 30-40 hour game depending on how much you want to dive into it. I don't see there being enough, and what I did ultimately end up playing on the back catalog, and I may get surprised, but what I have played, I'm not a Pokemon guy. So I'm sorry, it's not a Pokemon machine for me. And the Mario games run good already. Odyssey, I think, runs at 60 frames. Plus, I got everything in that game, so there's no reason for me to go back. And anything I do go back to either doesn't need an update or isn't going to probably get an update. So it's a little sad, but when like that Nintendo rep asked when we were standing in line, "Why are you doing this?" A lot of people stuttered, and I just looked at him and said, "Well, I've been doing this since the NES era, so why change course?"
Yeah, and I said to play my old Switch games better. And he rolled his eyes and he's like, "Wait, is that a PlayStation Letterman jacket?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're all gamers." And he's just like, "Oh," and stormed off. I'm like, whatever.
I do want to say, yeah, absolutely. One last thing about our Switch 2, if you remember, I don't know if I remember, I showed you. For our listeners out there, I wish I could show you. Maybe I'll find a way. I'll put it on the Discord. Maybe Best Buy was handing out coins for the midnight launch. So it says on one side it's all red and it has the Switch 2 logo, and then the other side it's engraved and it says I think it's Switch 2 launch or Best Buy 2025. It sure enough did not take long, man. The very next morning I woke up at 8, went on to eBay. You had those coins selling for anywhere from 125 to some dude asking for $1,000.
Yeah,
Folks,
they're cool coins though.
they're cool, but it ain't that serious, folks. Just thought that was a little funny aside.
Yeah, definitely. We got some patches too. He was handing out patches, and honestly, like Metroid Prime 4 is a system seller for me. I got this console for Metroid Prime 4. And honestly, what's to come next, right? Huge Zelda fan, huge first party Nintendo fan. We didn't get the Switch to immediately play a ton of games on it at launch because let's be honest, there's a fuck ton of games coming and I don't have time to play most of them in July or even June, really. It's the potential of this system. It's what's to be announced in the future. The Metroid and the Zelda and the 3D Mario will inevitably get. It's like you said, I want to see how much legs this console has. And right now, the launch, it's cool to play old Switch games, and it runs Switch games way better, makes them look way better. But as for Switch 2 exclusive stuff, I'm not playing any of the third-party stuff because I've probably played what I wanted to play on the PS4 10 years ago. So the only Switch 2 game that I currently own that I'm even debating on selling is Mario Kart World. So yeah, it's the potential of this system, right?
You're right. And I don't mean to sound like a naysayer here, but we haven't heard anything about Mario, which maybe I'm surprised. Maybe I do get surprised, but this console release was delayed and delayed and delayed. Worst kept secret in the industry outside of the Oblivion remaster. Um, so, but it's just like with the 64, we had 2 games at launch. I hope this isn't another one of those situations where there's only 2 games for 6 months. And in particular, should I say, which we'll touch into later. I don't think we're getting a mainline Zelda Pokemon game anytime soon. and that's for a very, very big reason that came out today, and which we'll talk about later. So what's next? Zelda, maybe, but we just got Echoes of Wisdom. Metroid, we've already got Prime 4 on its way and confirmed. Donkey Kong, cool. We've got Donkey Kong, but we haven't heard anything from anybody else, and that really scares me. Just because you would think if there was only 3 mainline IP from Nintendo that was being sent out, others would be chomping at that bit, and all we're getting is ports of stuff that's already been released. So I'm cautiously scared. Is the best way to put it.
Yeah, and I mean the port's coming. They're slapping a new blah 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 edition that on PS4 games we've already played. So yeah, this is always going to be my first party box. It's going to be my Zelda, Metroid, Donkey Kong, Mario box. I think, in my opinion, I'm just a huge Metroid fan. The price is justified just to play Metroid Prime 4 in beautiful 4K 60 HDR. And I'm going to be playing Metroid Prime Remastered for Metroid Database. And one of the reasons I got this, probably in October, I'm going to be streaming it for their site. And I'm going to play Metroid Prime Remastered with those paddles, with the back paddles. I'm going to play that on the new hardware. So hopefully that game gets a patch. Honestly, doesn't need one because it's 60 frames. But yeah, we could talk all about more about the Switch. We could have a whole podcast on the Switch. We'll be keeping you up to date. We'll be playing Switch games. We're both getting Donkey Kong. We're both getting Metroid. And yeah, this is going to be my first party box. It's my secondary console. And I'm going to be playing most of the first party titles of the IPs that I'm interested in, and we'll keep you up to date. It'll be in our now playing. So, but first initial thoughts: hardware. Very, very impressed with hardware. It's a technologically advanced piece of hardware. Software. Playing old Switch games is really awesome, and that's unfortunate to say on new hardware. So,
yep,
final
absolutely.
thoughts on the Switch 2.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Very succinct. I love it, man.
Yep. So yeah, it's going to be a cool console to have around in years to come, and we'll fill you in on the things we're playing on it. However, speaking of things to play, we have like 150 games that got announced in the last 2 days, pretty much, or last 3 days. We already went over Summer Game Fest. We did the Summer Game Fest prediction stuff. We hit some, but not a lot was announced. But Jesus, there were a ton of games announced. And I don't know. So there's a lot of negativity on social media right now about Summer Game Fest. And in our opinion, a lot of this stuff wasn't for us. Okay. And that doesn't necessarily make it bad, right? It's just not for us. I'd say 80% of the shit we saw is not for me. And probably you too, right?
Yeah, no,
So
you're right. It's
yeah,
not for me, but it doesn't mean it's objectively bad.
exactly. It doesn't make it bad. And there are a ton of bad actors and people on social media. And this is why I stay off social media. It's just a negative engagement engine. It's literally like this is why we both aren't on social media. They do experiments to where if you post something negative, it gets more traction than something positive. And they're literally feeding you negative stuff because negativity gets more engagement than positivity. So they're putting the negative stuff up front behind the positive stuff. It's like you have a group of 10 friends, one person is negative, and that negative person has a fucking megaphone. And there's a lot of negativity, and it's not negative for us. We're just saying it's not for us. Doesn't mean it's bad. But there are a lot of games that were announced that are not for us.
You're right. This goes back to a conversation I had recently with somebody in the house here, which is if you're talking with somebody online, and particularly with social media now, as an elder millennial of mine, I've been told to never believe what you read and even less of what you see online. Do not argue with those individuals. Don't even engage with them. We used to have a phrase growing up about it. I'm not going to say it or repeat it because it's not very 2025 friendly. Um, but let's just say arguing on the internet is like playing at a game that you're not going to win anyways. Because even if you win, you still lose, right? That's the short answer of it. Do not engage with these people because, quite frankly, I either believe they don't play games or B, they're doing it just to generate revenue. Because I have never met a gamer that would objectively hate this much content being thrown at us. They might say it's not for me, but they're not going to say it's the worst thing ever. And there are some things in here that I'm going to go, that's really interesting. And it's kind of for me, but unfortunately, it can't go on the stack. It doesn't mean I hate it. It just means you're not on the priority list. Sorry, you got to be to be a VIP to get into this game console.
Yeah, exactly. Because our time is valuable, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad game or a bad experience. But yeah, I don't want to shine too much of a spotlight on the negativity of social media. Just understand, folks, when you're on social media on most of these platforms, it is way more negative in the digital space than it actually is in real life, because it's the algorithm feeding you negativity, because negativity gets more engagement. There's a crazy powerful AI algorithm in the back end that's literally showing you negativity. So do a quick experiment. You have a friend, you both have Twitter up, go to the same post, you guys have different comments, and it's not the same comments, because that algorithm is feeding you comments that you're likely to engage in. Once you engage in it, algorithm learns. It just keeps learning and learning and learning. You post a negative thing, it's going to feed you negative shit, and negativity is just it sells, unfortunately. So
Yep.
we're going to keep it positive on the podcast. If we say not for us, we don't like this game, doesn't necessarily mean it's negative. It's just not for us. And it is one of my biggest holdbacks or challenges to starting this podcast, because we don't necessarily have the most popular opinion, and we don't necessarily play the most popular games, and yeah, a lot of this shit that was announced, and I don't mean shit, a lot of this stuff, right, that was announced was just not for us. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into everything that was announced. It was a lot of stuff. Keeley held an awesome show. It ended with a bang, and that was definitely for us. The ender was a banger for the Summer Game Fest showcase. That was a huge surprise, and can't wait to get into that. Definitely for us there. But yeah, let's see. Summer Game Fest showcase. Oh, before we get into that, I just wanted to give a little PSA. All right. Bob, do you remember a little gaming magazine by the name of Game Informer?
I mean, if you grew up in the same era as me, it was Game Informer and Nintendo Power, baby.
Exactly. Game Informer recently closed their doors, but then they reopened them. And I'd say it's probably the best place to get news on the internet. It's not a lot of ads. It's very clean. The writers are really good at what they do. And they're bringing the magazine back. And this isn't an ad. We're not sponsored or anything, but you can get, and I love print magazines, man. Like, reading before bed is cathartic and helps you sleep. And I would always read the magazine. And it was a bummer that it went away, but they're coming back. You can get 10 issues per year, and it's $48 a year. You get print and digital. They're increasing quality of the magazines. They're giving you more pages. They're giving you fewer ads. Game Informer used to be linked with GameStop, and they kind of started selling out there, but then GameStop kind of went under a little bit, and the Game Informer went under and got canceled. Now they're back. They're independent, and it looks like they're really focusing on the quality of their magazine. So I couldn't be more excited. I love print magazines. Even you can even read them digital. So I just wanted to add that. Yeah, and there's an archive. You can access every single old Game Informer magazine digitally if you subscribe just from their site. I would highly recommend it. It's a great value. Like I said, we're not sponsored. I did it. And yeah, I love print magazines, and I wanted to give them a shout out. Game Informer is awesome. And they're a bunch of gamers over there, and they really have a love for the craft. And you can tell.
Yeah. Even if you are not able to sign up for that physical print media, or it's just not your thing, whatever your life angle is, man, I highly recommend you use this site for catching up on gaming news because it is clean. There are no click on this link and then get bombarded by 15 different ads. Even on my mobile phone, which a lot, it seems like they realize that people searching the internet now don't use traditional browsers for the most part. They're using their phone and that phone browser app, and it still reads clean. I can understand it. I don't have to do a bunch of zooming in. I don't have to click on a little tiny X to close out this ad for this game or whatever it is. Oh man, dude, it's pleasant to be able to actually go to a website and read what's on there without either an ad blocking me, or B, them asking me to sign up for a subscription out the gate.
Exactly. That alone is awesome. And yeah, they have a clean website, a lot of great news, a lot of great writers, journalists over there. They're the best in the game, in my opinion. And yeah, shout out to Game Informer. I hope they are around for a while, and I can't wait for the print magazine. So, all right, man, let's get into this. What?
I was going to ask, since I know it's not on the list, but we talk about something that happened right before SGF? I just want to put this out there.
Yeah, please.
I called it, baby. Final Fantasy Tactics is coming back.
Oh yeah, we talked about that, didn't we?
I don't remember what I say on half the time on this show, dude.
We had an episode dedicated to State of Play, and we talked about it.
You're right. But I did want to rub it in again because nobody else thought it was happening. I had faith. I had hope. Seriously, everybody else that's in our chat that we've got going on the side here, thank you for trying to summon this. I saw all of the little pictures and stuff, so thank you. I just wanted to put it out there again. I called it.
Yes, you did, and you had faith in it very early on. That was a draft pickup that you did for $1. You called it before it was even announced, rumored by the NVIDIA leak, but I didn't think it was coming this year. I thought it was gonna get announced, but I thought it would be next year. But you're like, nope, I'm planting my flag here in February. We're getting it announced this year, and guess what? It happened. So congratulations on that. All these announcements actually affected the draft heavily for a lot of us, but that is a huge one, and that's going to be an awesome score for you. So a shitload of games were announced. Let's just say that. And some of these games, I'm literally going to say the title, what it is, when it comes out.
Oh shit! I think I lost you.
And what?
Oh, can you hear me? Going. Yeah, you're good. Sorry, just folks. Technical issues.
Little technical hiccup. I'm literally going to say the game when it's coming out. And if it's probably not for us, and we're going to go over the announcements. We're going to glaze over some of the announcements if it's not for us. And there was a lot of stuff in this presentation that wasn't for us. But shout out to Keeley. He did what he could. But a lot of this was not for us. And honestly, from what I've been gathering, people I've been talking to, a lot of it is not for a lot of people that are narrative heavy single player games. So let's just get into it. Killer Inn. Square Enix and Tactic Studios announced a new social deduction game called Killer Inn. That comes out 2026, I believe. I don't see a date.
No, I believe it was. I believe it was 2026. Definitely not for me. The short answer to get good description, you can look for it. It's 3D Among Us. Like that's really what it is. Definitely not for me, but hey, Square Enix, keep it up, man. Keep experimenting.
Yeah, exactly. Experimenting is good. And by the way, we're going to go over two major events. We might touch on some other events, but the two major events were the Summer Game Fest Showcase on Friday and the Xbox Showcase that was Sunday. So we're going to go over those two events mainly. Deadpool VR. We're getting Deadpool VR. It comes to MetaQuest 3 sometime, I think, in 2026, I believe. Deadpool has his own virtual reality game. I was super excited when it was Deadpool. Checked out when it was VR, especially MetaQuest. I don't have VR. I don't play VR. Not for me. How about you, Bob?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's gonna not be for me just because I don't have VR. But I will say the one cool thing is um, the Neil Patrick Harris angle we got going on here. And he sounded like Ryan Reynolds up until the point where like starring Neil Patrick Harris. I was like, what? Wait a minute, and they had to do a double take. So if you're interested in VR, this might be a game for you.
Yep. I'm a huge Deadpool fan. Love Deadpool. Love the writing. Love him breaking the fourth wall. The game on previous consoles, I believe it was PS3, great. But the fact that this is in VR, I'm kind of checked out. Arc Raiders, Embark Studios, they're doing a extraction shooter. Arc Raiders. I actually saw a buddy of mine play this, and still not for me. It's an extraction shooter, third person. Finally got a release date though, October 30th. We got a trailer and a release date. Is this for you, Bob?
Maybe depends. I say it because it's really not for me. But if it comes to PS Plus in the inevitable future when it does happen, if I can get some people together, I'd be more than happy to check it out because I'm tangentially interested in extraction shooters, but I'm not playing Tarkov because I don't have a good PC. And as we know, the other ones that are out there right now aren't looking too good. So maybe we'll see.
Yeah, everyone's trying to get to the extraction shooter uh, goal to be like the first big hit. Dude, here's my prediction. I think Fortnite is going to come out with an extraction mode and just bury all these other ones, unfortunately, because Fortnite is huge. None of them are for me, and Marathon's in a bit of trouble for art theft, essentially, art asset theft. But we're not going to get into that because we don't have a lot of details on that, and I'd rather report on it when we have a solution for it. But yeah, they're in trouble, and Arc Raiders is kind of getting out before them, or no, it'll be after them. Probably not though. I think Marathon is getting delayed. It's slated for September, and I think it's getting delayed. They got to delay it because they have to basically rework the game. So, but Arc Raiders looks cool. Not for me though.
Yep,
So
same here, buddy.
yeah. Wildgate, Dreamhaven, and developer Moonshot Games announced the crew based space FPS. Wildgate will launch on July 22nd. Boy, July is getting real packed, just like October. Looks cool. It's in open beta. It's not for me.
Yeah, it's Arc Raiders, but with a cartoony twist.
Yep.
Sci-fi aesthetic. I'm sorry. But yeah, not for me. But absolutely, it looks good. I think there's some potential there. So go get it, check it out if you'd like. Like you said there, Matt, the open beta is available.
Yeah, exactly. And this next one might be for you. It's not for me. But the Casino Royale's La Chiffre. How do you say that? Le Chef?
Le Chiffre.
Le Chiffre. Casino Royale's bonds from Casino Royale Le Chiffre comes to Hitman as a free DLC. And I heard you can actually play this without owning the Hitman game. They showed a little bit of this in the IOI showcase, but yeah, Mads Mikkelsen reprises his role as the villain Le Chiffre from, you all know him from Casino Royale, and that's out now, and you can play it. It's part of Hitman World of Assassination. And like I said, it's standalone, and it's free too, so you can check that out. I never got into the Hitman game, so I'm super excited for another IOI game that we're going to talk about. And that'll probably get me into that sort of genre, the sandbox assassination. But this also is not for me. I think it's for you though, Bob, right?
There's a strong possibility. I say that because me and Hitman don't have much history, but I objectively know it's a good series, and it's something that's always kind of been right there at the edge, the periphery, if you will, of me getting in there and wanting to play them. Simply because if I want stealth action, the ability to shoot people from a stealthy angle. Guess what? I got my boy Snake to do that one for me, or Big Boss, right? If I went pure stealth environment, there was Splinter Cell. Nobody else has done it better since. So I think this might be the one thing that kind of makes me do it, jump in, because maybe I enjoy it and find something else I like, as well as it's also a lead into something we're going to talk about later. But yeah, absolutely. Lashif, played by Mads Mikkelsen. That's what he's probably one of the more well-known roles. I think this is a good double hitter because not only do you play a Bond villain, but he played Hannibal Lecter in uh, his own TV series a few years back. And holy crap, I'm just putting that out there. If you thought the certain OG played Hannibal Lecter good, you've never seen Mads Mikkelsen play it. So that's a long-winded way of saying, yeah, count me in. There's a good chance
Cool.
you'll see me there.
Yeah, I've heard the Hannibal TV series is awesome. He also plays a very well-known character in Death Stranding, Clifford Unger. And I'm not going to say anything about that character because you just got to play the game to find out who he is and why he's there. That's probably the standout performance for me. He was also in Rogue One as Urso, Galen Urso, I believe. He basically created the Death Star or engineered the Death Star. So that was another role he was in, which he was really cool in that one too. But yeah, the Hitman and Bond kind of merging, getting us ready for something coming, which is it was announced in State of Play 007 First Light. Very excited for that, and they're kind of trying to merge before that happens. But yeah, I'm just going to play 007 First Light when it comes out. Infinitesimals. That got released. Another Epic Games publishing. There was kind of a pattern in this Summer Game Fest, and Epic Games publishing was pretty prominent. Honestly, it felt like a Epic commercial sometimes. Epic probably gave Jeff a lot of money to put this show on, and he highlighted a lot of their games that they're publishing. But this is a grounded scale adventure. You join Captain Orkney. It's bugs going around shooting stuff. Looks cool. It's coming to PS5, Xbox Series X, PC via the Epic Game Store. Third person shooter comes in 2026. Also not for me.
Yeah, this looks. It's not for me, folks. Sorry. Playing
Yeah.
as bugs. I think this is the one that you and I were looking at, and I have to go back and look at it. Is it kind of? I know you're playing as bugs, but it kind of had that old school vibe of. Oh crap! I'm just remembering it. It's the N64 game. I wish I could remember. It was one of DMA Design's last games before they went on to their own thing. I'll remember it, and I'm going to scream it out later in the episode. There's probably somebody screaming it right now, but the point is, it's a third person shooter. It looks kind of cool, just not my bag.
Yep. Yeah. Looks cool. Another thing, man, just all these games asking for our time, right? And the list is growing. And we already went through the games we're playing this year. That was like on episode 2. And you heard we have a lot of games to play. So it's just kind of sometimes a matter of time. It really looks cool, but there's another game coming out that we're already going to plan on playing. Like my July is fucking just toast. It's burned from Death Stranding 2. I know I'm going to drop 100 plus hours into that game. I'm going to want to platinum it, and I'm probably going to. And that's going to take all of July. And we have like 5 games coming out in July that I'm excited for, and probably 50 that are releasing for PS5 only. It's nuts, and I don't know how people do it. You just got to choose one. You got to choose an IP that you like. You got to choose a genre that you like, and you got to play it. And you got to unfortunately let other games fall off the wayside or build your infinite backlog, right? So,
yep. Body Harvest, by the way, I had to go find it.
Gotcha. Cool.
So it was the last game that they made with Nintendo before they became Rockstar North.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, looks cool, but when, right? Out of Words. This is a cool game. Looks it's a co-op platformer. Kind of reminded me of Split Fiction or something Hazelight would create. Yeah. It's it's a third person split screen co-op adventure coming to PS5, Windows via the Epic Game Store. Another one coming in 2026, also Xbox. I would probably play it if I didn't have anything else to play, but I have a lot of other stuff to play, so it's not for me.
Yeah. Maybe I could sit down and convince you or the wife or somebody to sit down and play with me, because I think it's kind of interesting. It's a cozy co-op game, man. Okay. If I can get to it, awesome. If not, not going to lose any sleep. Just pretty cool concept. I like it.
Yep. You know what else is a cozy co-op game in your backlog that we still need to play? It Takes Two.
Mm. Oh, that's true. But I will say the one thing about this one that kind of had my interest
Yeah.
is the characters, and this is in the press release or the video. You can see they don't have mouths, like
Mm.
it's kind of like that. So that means that they have to leverage environmental storytelling, and I'm interested. That has my attention because I'm curious. When you do the classic "show me, not tell me" situation when you're telling stories, I like that. Daddy likey. So
Yep.
that's what got my attention.
Yep. Show don't tell, the ultimate rule in storytelling. Unravel did that a lot. Unravel was great. They had two of them. They couch co-op, online co-op, really great games made by indie dev.
Yeah.
It was one of the EA indie originals. Really cool. The next one almost looked live action, but it was in engine, and it was really funny. Kind of reminds me of Punch Out. It's called Felt That Boxing. It's basically Muppets boxing, and yeah, it looks really cool. They said it was all an engine. It basically looked like it was captured with a real camera. This game looks cool. When I think another 2026 game. Not for me, I don't think. I liked Punch Out, but it looks fun. There's just a lot of other games I'm going to be playing in 2026. They're already stacking up, dude.
Yeah, once again, this isn't a game that's necessarily going to make the train, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you aren't interested in some of these marquee titles that are hitting like a Death Stranding or something like that, or a Metal Gear Solid this year, um, if you're more of a casual sitting on the rim kind of gamer because you've got life and commitments, I think Felt That Boxing, this game is absolutely right up going to be your alley, especially if you have a crude sense of humor. That's what this is. It's Muppets with crude sense of humor in a, like you said, a knockout or a punch out style game. The trailer made me go, I want to play this game, and it sold me. That's what's really cool is it made me want to play the game even though I know I can't. It sold it that well. I was laughing the whole time, dude. I loved it, and it wasn't just the beer.
Yeah, the writing's cool. Looks fun. Punch Out inspired. Yeah, I'll keep my eye on it. It'll be one I keep my eye out on. The next one I was really excited for until I realized what genre it was. This is Chrono Odyssey. It is a action-packed third-person MMORPG. I was excited for it, and then I wasn't when I found out it was an MMORPG. Do you know what MMORPGs are notorious for? Time sinks, and I just don't have the time. This is going to be released globally in Q4 2025. We don't have a release date, just a release window. What do you think of this one, Bob?
I think it looks cool, but I know me and MMOs. I went down that path one time. I was able to pull out. So definitely not my cup. It's my cup of tea, but it's my cup of tea in the bad way. Let's leave it like that.
Yep. So my notes aren't in order. I kind of just scribbled them down as I was watching and excited for all the release dates. So they're not really in order, but we're going to save the last announcement for the last one we talk about for sure, because it was probably one of my games of the entire Summer Game Fest. But the next one, I think this was near the end of the show, but it's next to my notes. Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver. This is a game, a Wu-Tang inspired game. Has some really cool soundtrack. I don't remember a lot about this game because I don't think it's for me. What do you have to say about it?
It's an action RPG, which is exactly the kind of thing I would like. Unfortunately, with any RPG, because you put those three letters together and I'm there, you have to give me something that catches my attention. And it's not that it's a bad concept. I think some of the art design looks good, but Wu Tang is not my thing. It's not my musical. It's not within my musical tastes. So I'm all for the memes. Don't get me wrong. Get me wrong. Wu Tang for life. All of that good stuff. I'm there for that. And if you are anywhere that kind of I think the Zen diagram between an overlap between Wu Tang fans and those that play action RPGs is probably not that big. So that's what I think. I think it looks cool. I just don't think it's going to hit gangbusters because you're selling to the wrong audience.
Yeah, and like this was, I think this had a TBD announcement, probably a 2026 game. I'll keep my eye on it. Action RPG has my curiosity. It doesn't have my attention yet, and like I said, it's not really my theme, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, Wu-Tang isn't really my music. I'm more into the synthwave, instrumental soundtrack, video game soundtrack. So looks cool, just not for me. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. We got a little bit more information. Still no release date. Still slated late 2025. We got a couple new characters. We got She-Hulk and we got Rocket Raccoon. I am interested in this game. It has my attention. I'd say it's not on my list yet, but it's made from the same people that did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. It's a side scroller pixel art beat 'em up. And it's cool to keep seeing new characters. I'm sure there's going to be even more characters. It's a fucking Marvel game. And yeah, this looks cool. I don't know when the hell I'm going to have time to play it.
Yeah, this is I'm all happy for you, man. That's the way I'm gonna leave it. I love old school arcade action beat 'em ups. I just Marvel's it's kind of like a wine right now for me. It's too dry at this point. Not for me. Sorry.
Yeah. Next one's End of Abyss. This one is definitely one I'm also curious about. I'm going to have my eye on. It's from Section 9 Interactive and slated to launch in 2026. I want to see more of it. And it's for PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series X. And it's a sci-fi action RPG. So looks really cool. I have my eye on it. It has my curiosity. It'll have my attention when we see more gameplay and when I find the time to potentially play it. How about you?
Yeah, exactly. I want to play it. I need to see more though. I think what we saw was kind of cool. It's got a great, interesting design, third person isometric survival horror with good lighting,
Mhm.
mechanics, and things of that nature. But outside of that, I don't know a whole lot, and we'll see. It may end up realistically may end up be something I don't pick up, but you never know. PS Plus is always banging.
Oh yeah, exactly. The genre piques my interest. We don't have a lot of isometric stuff. I love isometric shooters, and it's a sci-fi action RPG. So this is definitely up my alley. It's just a matter of time at this point. So it's kind of like, okay, you got my curiosity. All right, you have my attention. All right, now it's if you can have my time. And that's a big thing because I already have a fucking list of games that I keep. In 2026 is stacking up. So yeah, has my attention, I'd say at this point, and is on my probably will play if I have time in 2026, depending on when it releases. Uh, Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny. They showed SpongeBob SquarePants universe matchup. It's going to have more Nickelodeon heroes, I'm sure. And it's a real time action RPG in the theme and world of Nickelodeon. So we saw SpongeBob SquarePants. This isn't for me.
It objectively looks like something for me. You say the Dice of Destiny, you add Nicktoons. Um, do you even make it a third person or an isometric action RPG? And I'm kind of like, yay. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get me. Nostalgia is a powerful tool, but I don't have that much nostalgia for Nicktoons. So I
Right.
wish it well because it looks like it's a passion project. I will say that much.
Yeah, exactly. I do want to hear more about it. The genre has my curiosity. I was a big Nickelodeon kid, but you know, a lot of other games. So can it get past that circle I have, right? A curiosity, uh, interest, and then is it going on my list? Because it's like, oh, did you make the list? And then if it's the list, oh, does it have a date? You know, the time thing. So it's just, man, you gotta get through the layers. And this has it's at the first layer, curiosity. So Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, we already knew this was coming. We got some crossover characters that were announced. Definitely not for me. I like racing games, but it's kind of looked like it's turning into Fortnite. I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm sure it's going to be fun. It's a kart racing game. They announced the guy from Like a Dragon, Joker from Persona 5, Steve from Minecraft. Another crossover racing game. And it launches. They got a release date, September 25th. So Sonic Racing Cross Worlds looks like a living game. Looks like it's going to have probably DLC and potential microtransactions. I don't have time for it, and it's not for me. How about you?
I mean, the only Sonic game that's ever really gotten my respect is Frontiers. Um, I'm not saying I love the Sonic movies, and I think Sonic is as a character is cool. But yeah, I already got a kart racer this year, and I've already played it, and I think I've got my fill of kart racers. So sorry, folks.
Yep. It's interesting. Sonic 2 is one of the greats, right? The Sonic 2D games are awesome, but Sonic, the more I play it, it's becoming more and more not for me, actually.
Hmm.
So I'm not saying they're bad games, right? I mean, you can go check out the Metacritic scores. You be the judge. You play it. You be the judge. I'm just saying, the more I play Sonic games, the more I'm learning they are becoming not for me. So the last one, Shadow X Generations is one of my favorite Sonic games, but I played it on 360 and then PS3, and then I played the remaster, and I was like, I remember this game being a little better. Still
Hmm.
fun, but yeah, Sonic's getting his own Sonic Racing. I think this is like the second Sonic Racing. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's not for me. This next game, though, this looks fucking awesome. It's from Munfish. Munfish is cooking. This is the third game they announced, and it's called ILL. It's a first person survival horror. I'd say Bioshock meets Resident Evil, story driven, and it promises some intense body horror and grotesque monsters. It was gorgeous, and this game is definitely for me. This game has my attention, curiosity, and was put on the list, and I'll probably play it, honestly. So I want to hear a lot more about this game. You liked this one too, didn't you, Bob?
Yeah, when it comes to games that reach the top of the or reach the list of will it make the cut, this is probably at the top of will it make the cut.
Mhm.
This is when I saw that ILL, I immediately thought Village and thought we were getting an RA
Aw.
Village porting or something was going on, right? Obviously not. But yeah, this has you. You definitely grabbed my attention with this one. I think based on some other announcements, though, we'll see. If you
Right.
can get in there, if I can sneak it in, this is the guy that's like, you are at the top of the wait in line queue. Let's leave it like that.
Yep, it's on my list. It will be played. Might be on the backlog depending on what comes with it. But yeah, I thought this was the Resident Evil trailer. It was ILL, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is a Resident Evil trailer," and it looked honestly like Resident Evil. And I was pretty much, uh, I don't know, calling that it was Resident Evil until it was like it didn't finish it. So, and it said Munfish. I think when it said Munfish, I was like, "Oh, okay." It's very heavily inspired by Resident Evil though, and it looks incredible. So definitely on my list. Probably make the backlog too. I am going to play that game. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, they did another one. They announced two more. One of being, it's called the Cube. Really cool concept. You're on a cube planet thing, and it's constantly moving. I was interested until they said it was an MMORPG shooter, and I was like, okay, cool, not for me. So yeah, this is coming out TBD and looks really cool. It looks really pretty. Munfish, their engine is really awesome. I think they might be using UE5. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if they're not, I mean, all their games look pretty. Atomic Heart was awesome. It was on my list. I just couldn't get around to playing it. There was too much shit that came out, and I heard it kind of falls off in the end. So I ended up passing it by. But yeah, this looks cool. It's just the genre's not for me, and I'm probably not gonna play it.
Yeah. Cube. This I like the concept. I like what I'm seeing. I don't know if I can dedicate the time to MMO. If there was one that was going to get me to jump back in, it honestly might be the Cube, simply because it's first person shooter, so I don't deal with classic. Hey, did you have 14 different key bindings set to your mouse to be able to make these spells and stuff work? I'm over those days. Sorry, I gotta give you a little condescending in that. Oh, did you remember to cast the healing spell?
Make
Um,
sure and link your key commands to the right buttons.
yeah, this would be the one. Sleek design, cool universe building, and an awesome premise where you have a Rubik's Cube style planet that's shifting, so the developers can make changes on the fly, and it makes sense from a universal standpoint. So I think that's really cool. Will I get a chance to play it? I know better. But if you maybe somebody out there would love this. I wish them the best.
make sure you have the correct loadout.
Oh,
No, it looks interesting. Just not for me. The genre is too time intensive. But the other one they announced, Munfished, was probably their marquee one. Ill was probably my favorite one, but Atomic Heart 2, they announced the sequel. This looks awesome. It looks cyberpunk, Bioshock. I am heavily interested in this game. This made my list. It could be Munfish's, Uncharted 2 from Uncharted 1, where the first game is great, but not amazing, and they learned a lot from it, and they made an incredible, Uncharted 2 game. I have my eye on this. It has my attention. It's on my list. I can't wait to see more. Can't wait to hear more about Atomic Heart 2. I was very interested in Atomic Heart, and the more I read about it, the more I was like, I might pass this one up. But hopefully, they learned a lot of lessons, and Atomic Heart 2 is better. I might pick this up and play it. What do you think?
I think it's right up my alley. The problem is you're not treading any new ground. Post-apocalyptic, cool. Sci-fi aesthetic, cool. With corporate dystopian society, cool. Guess what? You just named two different games, Fallout and another one we'll talk about later. It looks cool. I this is the game that I really think it would be awesome to play, but it's got to go to the side, man. I can only go through so much before I get through a genre burnout.
Yeah, I hear you. The enemy types look very unique. The setting, I feel like, is pretty unique, and it's a gorgeous game. I think the release date was TBD, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I have my eye on it. The next one looks really awesome. It is also a sequel. It could also be the Uncharted 2 of the Uncharted of the series, and that is Mortal Shell 2. It's a sequel to 2020's action role-playing game Mortal Shell. I never played Mortal Shell, another one that it was on my list, and I kind of read more about it, and I was like, this might not be for me. I'm going to pass it up. But dude, this game looks sick, and it's coming in 2026. It's the sequel to the original Mortal Shell, and man, what we saw was a roller coaster of blood and guts and just high octane demonic combat. This was awesome. I think you like this one too, right?
Yeah, this one definitely. I liked it. The trailer is the best way I'm going to put it because, as the old phrase goes, that thing was metal as all hell.
Mm-hmm.
Just pure violence and executions, and it just visceral style combat. Absolutely, um, looks exactly like something that I would at the very least enjoy watching somebody play.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's kind of like the original was a Souls like. I heard is really tough. I had a couple people that played it. They're like, it's okay. And I read some stuff on it, but hopefully they again learn their lessons of the first one, make the second one even better. And this went on my list. I have my eye on it, and it has my curiosity and attention. So
Yep.
this next one, totally thought it was a Tales game because it's from Bandai Namco, and it looked heavily Tales, but it ended up being another sequel, Code Vein 2. It's a gothic third-person hack and slash Devil May Cry meets Tales. Honestly, I saw a lot of Tales in that. And yeah, it's very vampire driven, and this game looks really cool. I It has my attention for sure. How about you?
Um, I'd like to say so, but it's just not my. It's not my cup of tea. There wasn't enough there to get my attention. It looks cool as all hell, though.
Yeah, it does. And again, it's like, is it going to meet that criteria? Is it going to release at a slow time? Probably not. And it's probably going to get either knocked off the list or bumped into the backlog. Who knows? Just other IP out there that I'm more interested in. It definitely has my attention, though. I really like what they showed, and it looks pretty unique. So, uh, next one, Dying Light the Beast. This is a new kind of standalone expansion, I'd say. I don't even think you need the original game to play it. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, but it might be a standalone game. Dying Light the Beast. Dying Light is a survival horror. Mirror's Edge meets Resident Evil. zombie apocalyptic game, first person. And this looks like a cool expansion. I didn't play Dying Light 1. I didn't play Dying Light 2. And I probably won't play Dying Light the Beast. It's cool, but not for me. And I don't think I'll have time to.
Yeah, it's a standalone, quote unquote, of a DLC of Dying Light 2. From what I'm understanding and what I've been investigating, yeah, Dying Light is a cool concept. I just time, man, and unfortunately, this one doesn't have that have it over there. But if you're a Dying Light fan, based on what I saw, I highly recommend you get this and definitely take a look at it.
Yeah, definitely. This next one is I'd say the first one that is 100% for me. It was one of the predictions we called on the Summer Game Fest predictions. And we both played the original game. This was one you recommended to me. I am 100% in on this. I actually might play it right after I come back from Myrtle Beach. Liza P. Overture finally got a release date, and guess what? We were right. It was a shadow drop. It dropped the day of Summer Game Fest, which was Friday. We called this. We called this. We said Liza P. Overture DLC will be announced and released day of. Guess what? It was. And I'm going to buy it, play it. I might try and squeeze it in before Death Stranding 2, but I'm going to try. I'm heavily interested in this game. Liza P. was one of my favorite Souls-like games, very Bloodborne inspired. And this DLC just looks like more of Liza P. and even better combat, enemy types, and locales. So I know you're in on this too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is the Bloodborne 2 that we never got. Liza, that's the best way to describe Liza P. The fact that we're getting DLC, I got to go double check, but I think it's $30. Which is tells me that it's probably going to be substantial. Because I don't see this becoming they charge us $30 for a 4-hour adventure. I don't get that sense with this game. It's a passion project. Artistically, I could go on about this. Absolutely, I will get to it at some point this year. It's a matter of when, but I'm going to sneak it in at some point because Liza P, like I said, I recommended it to you just because it was that damn good.
Yep, NeoWiz is the developer. I played it a little after launch. I had a lot of games I was playing, but it slipped into the backlog. But I eventually got to it. I actually played it back to back 3 times to get that platinum because I basically fell in love with the game, and it's one of my favorite Soulsborne games. And this DLC is the prequel to all of that chicanery that happened in the original. So it's basically follows Pinocchio and the storyline, and I can't wait to see what they do with the prequel. And I guess it's in a zoo. That was in the marketing. So if if you can think of the atrocities that we can get from specific things that were present in the original game that happened to things, I'm trying to be vague for a reason. Basically, animals get that happen to them. So yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. This is 100% buy, 100% play. I'll probably play it in a week, depending on how long it takes. I'll probably try and squeeze it in before Death Stranding 2. So couldn't be more excited for this one. This was a yes, please. Finally, can't wait to play for me. And I know it is for you. So also shout out on that recommendation. One of the best recommendations. Thank you. Mafia: The Old Country. That got announced. We finally got a release date. They showed a new trailer. Mafia's third person. I haven't played any of the Mafia games, but it looks kind of like Uncharted meets Grand Theft Auto with Italian mob bosses, right? Have you played any of the Mafia games?
No, I haven't. Just a series that's passed me by. So the trailer looks good. We still haven't seen anything on gameplay yet. So more to tell.
Right.
Before I'm finally
which is concerning because it has an August 8th release date in like pretty much a month. So that's concerning. We might have got a blend of gameplay in there, but I don't know. This one's not for me. It's kind of up my alley when it comes to the genre and the way it plays, but never got into Mafia. And this, I think, goes back to, it's a prequel of 1, 2, and 3. I think there's 3 Mafia games, but I'm not too versed in the Mafia lore. So not for me. It's looks great, and I'm sure it's going to be good. But it doesn't sound like we neither of us are playing it. So the next one is for me. It's on my list. Very excited for it. I believe we got a 2026 release date. It's from our boys over at Capcom. Onimusha, Way of the Sword. This is basically Onimusha 4, if I'm not mistaken. I'm very excited for this. Onimusha is a third-person action adventure hack and slash, and it looks awesome. I can't wait to play this, but it also is that, Japanese setting. We're getting a lot of these games, but Onimusha was one of the originals that did this. So, and they recently released Onimusha 2 remastered. So they're kind of building their way up to this. Capcom's an awesome developer. I'm fully in on this. I'd say if there aren't any other games that are on my list when this drops, I'll play it. But if not, it's probably going to get pushed to the backlog. We'll play it eventually. What are your thoughts?
I played the first Onimusha game, and what I remember out of it, and what I mean by first one, I mean the PS2
Yeah.
edition. And what I remember, it was good. I don't remember what stopped me from playing anything else. I think it's a cool looking game. I think the reason we haven't seen any more of it is because I think there are other games that might just execute a little bit better. But at the end of the day, if I were to take a game and pick it up and say this might be, just pick up and go, this is probably going to give me a good time without going on much else. I would say this is probably that game. You can just look at it and go, no, this is well done. It's going to be a great romp. But we'll see, because I don't even think we got a release date yet for it. So
we got a year, 2026. So it's on my list. I'm excited for it. It's all about when it hits.
Yep.
The next one, really cool. Co-op game from Lego. It's called Lego Voyagers. And it looked really cool from what we saw. It's in their new engine. So that new engine is really cool. It's really pretty. Lego Horizon Adventures has this new engine. I wasn't interested in Lego Horizon Adventures just because it doesn't have mini kits and it didn't really do well, but it's in the new engine, looks really cool. And I think I might play this game. It is on my list and I want to hear and see more about it. What are your thoughts? Looked really cool.
Yeah, I think the concept looks really cool. In the trailer, it looks beautiful, man. If this is that same engine that we got with Lego Horizon Adventures, or Horizon Lego Adventures, should I say? Uh,
It is.
yeah, you could put those both next to me, and I wouldn't believe you because this one looks amazing compared to what we got before. And I think it's really cool the concept of being a single block. What do they call it? A 1x1, rolling around and building stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks really cool. If I can find somebody to play with me or even find time to play it, I think it'd be kind of cool. But yeah, absolutely. I think it's cool to see Lego games expanding into something different. Is really what makes me most excited about this.
Yeah, I'll definitely play it with you. Maybe we can stream it. We're trying to get a streaming setup where we're both on camera. All that technology stuff is hard. The streaming stuff is complicated, and you got to do Streamlabs and all that shit. So we're just getting around to it. We'll get to it eventually. I'll definitely play this with you. I think the concept of building your way to accomplish a puzzle is a really cool gameplay mechanic, and I'll play this. But like I said, I want to see more, and I want to hear more about it. The next one is the second one that I'm all in 100%. Been waiting for the fucking release date on this game. I backed it on Kickstarter. It's in the vein of the old Zelda games, which I fucking love, and I know you do. It is from Yacht Club Games, and this is Mina the Hollower. Folks, if you like the Game Boy Zelda games, Game Boy Color Zelda games, man, is this for you? This was heavily inspired by those games. It's a top-down pixel art, 16-bit action adventure game, just like Zelda. So take basically Zelda Link's Awakening or A Link to the Past. Well, A Link to the Past was 32-bit, but Link's Awakening, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, maybe even a little bit of Minish Cap. I know Minish Cap was more advanced, but it's gorgeous pixel art. I saw this on Kickstarter. I backed it like 3 fucking years ago. I'll probably be in the credits. Couldn't be more excited for this game. We finally got a release date. Mina the Hollower will finally release on October 31st. October is stacking up, but I think this game is going to be one that I put everything else down for. I have a lot of faith in it. I think it's going to be great, and it's inspired by one of my favorite IPs of all time. How about you?
Dude, that's amazing to hear that. You're willing to drop it because I know what else is coming in October. So that says a lot. I think what's really cool about this game is the pick up and play look of it. So this might be I pick it up, but I don't think I think I'll play it, but I don't think it'll be I dedicate a certain amount of time to it and give it my full focus and attention. So this might be one of those moments in between games if I get to it this year where I'm like I don't know what I want to play. I'm in between stuff, so I that's when I usually get to that point of I play a little bit of X, I play a little bit of Y, I revisit this or whatever. Right? I think Mina the Hollower might end up being one of those games that just ends up fitting into that slot. Like you said, it is a great, cool, old school Game Boy Color style aesthetic, and I'm all for it. Yacht Club, excuse me, makes really good games, absolutely great games. Hollow Knight or Shovel Knight is amazing. I love that game.
Yep. I've been waiting for this game. I've been waiting for the release date. We all have. It got pushed back. I think the Kickstarter got announced. Man, I'm gonna say like 4 or 5 years ago, honestly. And I couldn't be more excited for this game. Thankfully, it's out in late October. It'll probably be on the heels of Ghost of Yote for me. So, but if I don't think anything else is going to top this, I couldn't be more excited for this game. I know it's like 16-bit pixel art, but it's an indie game. But dude, sometimes these indie games they just hit different. They hit that nostalgia for me, and I'll put AAA games down and play these any day. And Mina the Hollower is one I've been waiting a while for, so I couldn't be more excited. And you should definitely check it out. I think this is a Bob game because you're a big Zelda fan, and I think you'll love it. So
perfect.
Yeah. Scott Pilgrim EX. We got new Scott Pilgrim game, a side scroller, pixel art, beat 'em up, and it is Tribute Games, the developer behind the other Scott Pilgrim games, and this will release in 2026. This looks cool. I know Scott Pilgrim games are really hard. I do like side scroller pixel art beat 'em ups. I don't think this one's going to make the list just because I haven't played the other ones. Love the movie, love the concept, but I just, man, it's getting into that new IP, right? You got to play the older games, and I can't dive into this IP. I think you're excited for this one though, aren't you?
Somewhat. I've got the Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the original side scroller beat 'em up. They a limited run. Did a release. I saw it. I think it was more of a mood thing at the time, if I'm being honest, because after I started playing it, if it's you said it's the same developer.
Yes.
I hope they learned a lot of lessons. And I say this with the greatest love in the world, but Scott Pilgrim versus the World crashed a lot. There's no nice way to put it around there. It wasn't that it was buggy where your character would do weird stuff. It would just literally be playing. And I confirm this with the disc based versus and the virtual one edition. It just randomly crashed. Sorry, we encountered a problem, and you'd have to restart the app. It's really frustrating in a side scroller beat 'em up, especially if you get to like 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through a level, and then all of a sudden you get the whatever platform you're on. With us on the PlayStation, I hear that doo doo, and then go to a blue screen. It's so frustrating. It happened more than any other game that I can think of in recent memory. I'm being that serious.
I gotcha. I think if I remember correctly, I think that's what turned me off to trying out the game because I heard it had a lot of technical issues on PS4. It's digital only, I believe, too, which was kind of a deterrent. So I think that's what pulled me away from that. So yeah, I'm not interested in this one. I'm sure it's going to be great. It's cool IP, but not for me. We are getting into the final announcements for the show. These two, I believe, were at the end. And the first one being Stranger Than Heaven. This is the Project Century game that was announced, I think, earlier this year or late last year
Game
from
Awards.
RGG Studio. Yep, Game Awards, late last year. It was Project Century. It got a name, Stranger Than Heaven. RGG Studio, famously known for the Yakuza series, and it looks cool. Third person, but I'm not into the Yakuza series, and I don't think I'm gonna be into this one. But it looks really cool. So, but not for me. What do you think?
I like Yakuza in as a concept. If I can, I dive into it every now and then. The two that really got my attention were the Like a Dragon series or Like a Dragon games, but that's because it was turn-based RPGs. But ultimately, you have my attention. I think Yakuza is a lot of fun. If you just it's time, I get it, but if you have the time and you just turn off your brain and don't want something like, oh my gosh, a game that takes itself too seriously. Yakuza's never taken itself too seriously, man. You get great soap opera style drama story, but then you'll have a game that's or a mini game that's basically Pokemon Snap, but you're taking pictures of quote unquote weirdos or guys in speedos. Like it goes from one you get whiplash out of it, but it's not but it's not it's definitely entertaining. Project Century being a new, I can't tell if it's a spin-off, if it's a new IP kind of thing, but you I'm cautiously looking at this. Once I see more and get an idea, I'll make a decision, because right now RGG is cooking really good, and they've been making a lot of good stuff. So they've provided me no reason to doubt them.
Yeah, and they're making a Virtua Fighter game too. They're famous for Virtua Fighter as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this looks cool. How do I put this? Yakuza, all the games, they do pique my interest. I do think I'd like them. They are up my alley when it comes to genre and gameplay. It's just getting into a new IP, right? I don't think there's time. And I know Yakuza games are very time intensive. They require a lot of your time, and I just don't have it. I don't have it to dump into a new IP. When I get into a new IP, usually I like to go through all of them, and I can't get into it now. So I
Yeah.
think I'd like the games. I think they are good games. Like a Pirate got really good reviews, and I saw a little bit of it, and I was like, man, this is right up my alley. But I can't. I don't have time for it. So it's
Yeah,
not that I
man.
don't. Yeah, it's not that I don't like them. It's just I don't think I have time for them.
I 100% am calling this. You would like the Yakuza games. I think you would absolutely love the Like a Dragon series. Those two games, the Infinite Wealth and the original. And this is not necessarily a big spoiler, but like what I'm trying to get at and why you like him is the main character you're playing as him. When you go into combat, the character or the enemies, might, let's say they're a Yakuza, a guy in a suit, right? Or they're a drunkard on the sidewalk. They transform into something else. Whether it's a dude that's holding a big shield that looks like a hamburger and a steak for a sword, but it's not actually happening in real life. The game is well enough aware to where the main character is visually and it's canonically known where he's seeing this in his head, but nobody else around him realizes this because the guy grew up playing the Dragon Quest games, and he's a huge fan of the Dragon Quest games. So in real world, it's not happening this way, but in his head, it is, and it's known that way, and it's a huge flavor touch. I think you would absolutely love them because it's got that little bit of flair that makes it unique.
Gotcha. Sounds great. Like I said, I think I'd fall in love with them, but ain't
But
got no time for that. Sorry.
yeah, sorry.
Other games
Speaking
to
of
play,
yeah, sorry.
unfortunately.
Speaking of time, I think it's what do you think is the time we talk about the big guy in the room?
So this was heavily rumored, and this was not only my game of the show for the Summer Game Fest showcase, that and Mina, I think, but this one beat it. It might even be the game of the show of all of Summer Game Fest. I think this, Bloodstained, Scarlet Engagement, and Mina the Hollower were my top three, I'd say. They did a fucking bait and switch on us on this, okay? During like mid show, Capcom, the creator of Resident Evil, came out and was like, "Hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. We're working hard on the next Resident Evil entry, and we just need a little more time. Thanks for your patience." And that's it. They went on with the show. And then Keeley came out and he's like, "All right, that was the show, but we do have one more announcement for you." And it's from a beloved developer, blah 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 blah. He's just super passionate about it. We got a fucking banger coming up, and it opens up. First of all, we thought it was Control 2, and it's going through this FBI building. And the moment I saw the blonde chick typing on the keyboard, I was like, I know that fucking engine. This is the Resident Evil engine. This is Resident Evil 9. And boy, did I fucking call it. We got Resident Evil Requiem, Resident Evil 9. We finally got the trailer. It's a teaser trailer. He came in and was like, Grace Ashcroft. And we both pointed at the screen like Leonardo DiCaprio. We were like, oh! And then they showed, man, all the fucking Leon hints we got. They showed the RPD. They showed where the nuke went off in Raccoon City. Yes, we finally got the next mainline Resident Evil game. We got a teaser trailer for it. And it is Resident Evil Requiem. When they showed the subtitle, Requiem, the Q in Requiem kept flashing between the Q and 9. So this is Resident Evil 9, but just like with Resident Evil 8, it has a subtitle. Resident Evil 8 was Resident Evil Village, and Resident Evil 9 is Resident Evil Requiem. We don't know a lot about it. We don't even know how it plays. I'm pretty sure it's not first person. I don't think we got any gameplay. I think we just got snippets of cutscenes, but boy, oh boy, am I excited. I think the playable character is going to be Grace Ashcroft. If you're not familiar with the Ashcroft name, her mom was in Resident Evil Outbreak. So yeah, but man, we got a lot of Leon teases. It showed RPD. It showed the inside of RPD where Resident Evil 2 takes place. And in my opinion, I think we're going to play as Grace Ashcroft, and I think we're going to play as Leon Kennedy. So this was my game of the show. I'm pretty sure it was yours too. What do you think of it, Bob?
Yeah, from the summer games, the main thing or the main event on Friday. Sorry, my brain is fried, dude.
You're good. It's been a long weekend.
This absolutely was the game of the show. I remember talking to you about this. We were doing guessing and theory crafting, and somebody's insisting that Leon's a second playable character, but there's nothing there, and then it's we saw RPD, and I'm like, okay, guys, calm down. We saw RPD. We saw the Spencer Mansion. Leon's not tied to the Spencer Mansion. We saw where the nuke went off, and in RE3, that happens. That entire game happens after Leon has already left. Don't get me wrong. I'm right here with you. Leon Lionheart, my online handle, is more than just a Final Fantasy VIII reference. Okay, like I'm, my blood is just going woo. But it's a lot of different. Like you said, even the Ashcroft name is an RE reference, like a universal reference, right? And that's when I started going. I was like, Requiem sounds weird, so I went and looked it up. Do you know one of the definitions that I found found for this that made me go, oh? And you're about to have your O face too.
Yeah, Requiem is a amalgamation of different things culminating into one big thing, tying references to linked things around it. If I'm correct,
musically,
kind of?
musically.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
says a musical composition setting parts of a requiem mass or similar character. The other definition is an act of token or remembrance.
Okay.
Yeah, that's no accident, my
Uh-huh.
friends. That is no accident.
I'm calling it right
I
here. We're getting fucking Leon. It's happening. We're getting Leon.
yeah, I don't. I think this is going to be entirely new. I think what they did. This is my theory. So 7 and 8 were amazing games, right? But they did not really reference the Resident Evil universe the way we know it, right? They did, but like they really didn't. It wasn't there. Like what the story they were telling was more upfront. It was kind of there, but ultimately, and I don't want to be spoilers, but you understand, Matt, that like everything that happened there was its own unique offset shoot of a situation. Here, I think this is going to tie in. I think it's its own thing, but I think it's tying in completely to the original stuff that we knew about with the T virus and the G virus and Umbrella and all of that good stuff. I think this is going to be heavily inspired there. I think that's the reason for these cues. I can hope. I can hope Leon's there, but I'm trying to keep my expectations in check because I want to. I want to be pleasantly surprised about this if he does show up. And my final thoughts on this: this is a huge shout out to Capcom. Huge. When you announce a game, you give us a trailer, you give us enough to taste and understand what you're selling, and then not only that, you give us a date. You give us a date within a calendar year because this is coming out February 26th of
27.
2020. Yeah, 27th. Damn, I was close.
You were
February
close.
of 2026. We're in June of 2025. Not even a year later, they're calling their shot. Listen up. That's how you do it. You listen to me, Rockstar. Yeah, this is how you do it. You don't say, "Oh, it's coming in 2026," and then you push it back. Stop that crap. You know when your game's coming out. If not, you don't have anything to say. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Let's make a pattern of this. Announce your game within a calendar year, or even better, like it's 7 months away. Everything's getting put down for this. This is getting pre-ordered. This is being played day one. I'm going to stream it. Resident Evil is one of my favorite IPs of all time. I couldn't be more excited for this. I can't wait to see more. I hope to God it plays in third person. Either that or it gives us the option to play in third person, like Resident Evil Village patch came out. I'm a big third person fan. I vaguely remember Capcom saying Resident Evil 7 and 8 were their last first person Resident Evils, and they're going back to third person. They're going back to form. But yeah, we kind of saw the cutscenes. It looks gorgeous. It looks super scary. It's horrifying. It gave us just a taste and tease of what's to come. It had enough Easter eggs and nostalgic stuff in there to really get fans excited. And like I said, this probably could potentially be my game of the entire Summer Game Fest announcements across 4 days. So
Yeah, absolutely. Let's make this happen, man. I love it. I
yeah,
love it. I love it. The fact that they not only announced it, but then they give us a date, and it's whether it's a well-known IP or not, puts you in the forefront of your mind, so you don't come back 3 years later and they announce something and you go, "Wait, what was that game?" I already am buying. I was day one. Do early access, and I'm in. You're gonna get got. Like this is probably number 3 IP of all time.
yeah. I don't know if I'll do early access. I don't. I'm still. I don't know. If who knows though, right? It's Resident Evil, but I usually don't pay to play the game early. I can wait, and especially if it's like releasing, if the actual public release is on Friday. And it comes out like Wednesday. We both work. And Friday's like the best time to release a game. I don't know if I'll do early access. Who knows though? We'll see. February 27th. That's kind of right around the corner. I think it might get pushed. I think it might get pushed a couple months because we didn't really see gameplay. But I think this might actually be in a state of play, and we'll get a deep dive into the gameplay. And that's where we'll get our Leon reveal. He's either in the game or playable. One of the two, okay? There were too many teases about it. I hope Leon's one of my favorite characters, probably one of my favorite video game protagonists, one of, maybe top 5. Cloud being number 1, of course. But yeah, man, this, I was so excited. And the bait and switch they did with this, man, we looked at each other and we were like, really? Is that what we're getting of Resident Evil 9? And then they fucking closed with it. I did not expect that. Keeley, well done for that part of the show. Yeah. And then can we acknowledge the fucking Silk Song tease we got during the Deadpool VR trailer? He's like, he got a little envelope and he's like, skip the Silk Song trailer and go straight to the Deadpool VR trailer. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then we didn't even get a Silk Song trailer. And we still haven't got a Silk Song trailer. But in the next event, there was kind of a little bit more information on that. As for RE9, this is something we called. We said we see a trailer for Resident Evil 9, and we sure fucking did. That was a big old green check mark on our predictions. Call us Nostradamus, everyone. We predicted this shit, and it was a banger closer for the show. So better than the closer of State of Play and the Xbox Showcase, which we're about to get into. Just the closers weren't really for me. Resident Evil 9, you bet your damn ass it was for me, and I am so excited for this game. Yeah. So Summer Game Fest Showcase, a lot of stuff that was shown, like I said, really wasn't for me. 80% of the stuff really wasn't for me. Didn't sound like it was for you either. I don't know. Do we want to give it a grade?
I personally don't like grades because
I don't want to.
You could tell that entire thing. Take out RE9, and I think it would probably be very, bad. But you add the RE9 at the end, and ultimately now it's got my attention. Kind of like it's one of those. Now I'm trying to compare it to State of Play because its closer was so on the nose for me that now I'm looking at what was released previously, going, okay, now I've got to rearrange and stack the deck in a certain way because RE9 will be 100% a day one purchase. Like it's going to happen. So now I have to start looking at everything else that came before it. And State of Play was it was a thick boy. Had a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, State of Play as a whole, I feel, was better than way better, worlds better for me than SGF Showcase. But the ending, the closer of the Summer Game Fest Showcase, definitely won. It was the best closer of all the showcases, and it hits home for both of us. I know we're both huge Resident Evil fans, and we might even play a little bit of a Resident Evil 6. Not the best Resident Evil. Still, I know this is not an unpopular opinion. I feel like it was a good game. It was a fun game. Not the best Resident Evil, but it's co-op. We might play that. Who knows? And who knows? Resident Evil 9 might tie into 6 because guess who's in 6? Leon.
Yeah, the Resident Evil 6 and Resident Evil 5. I played 6 and enjoyed it. And here, my theory is I enjoyed it because I played with somebody. I didn't deal with the single player mumbo jumbo. I get it. But let's. That was the end of that one. The end of the Keighley event, and I'm telling you, it made me question my choices on the State of Play. I'm going to definitely get this because Resident Evil just kind of stepped on everything. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, agreed. We also got stuff from Miho Yo. We got Wuthering Waves and stuff from Genshin, but I don't know. It's the same stuff. If you're interested in that, go watch the trailers. That was a prediction. We both said, yeah, that's going to happen. And let's see. Yeah. So we'll go over predictions after this. We'll go over them quickly. There's so much to cover. We're only halfway done with the announcements. Let's get into the second half. Summer Game Fest Showcase, banger closer. Show mainly wasn't for me and for you. But yeah. So Sunday, we got the Xbox Showcase. This was a solid showcase. There were a lot of cool announcements and a lot of stuff, though, still wasn't for me. But I'd say more of a percentage was for me in this showcase than it was in Summer Game Fest. So I think it was a pretty good show all around. And we can go over the announcements. So
I don't know. What do you think, Matt?
What?
Sorry, the administration aside, we're kind of starting to get to a beefy show. Do you think do you want to pick and choose a couple of things? I was thinking about this.
We can go quick, but this is going to go over 2 hours and it's just a lot to cover. So people, I guess, can deal with it. Yeah, it's a special episode for multiple special events. We're in the age, or we're in the season of announcements, and people should understand that there's a lot of announcements. We want to go through all of them. Do some of these announcements we're spending like 2 minutes on, right? And so we'll quickly go over these, and we'll hit the ones that we're excited for. So let's get right into it. We'll try and hit that 2-hour mark, but it's probably not going to happen. More like 2.5 hours because there's a lot of announcements to go.
Mhm.
Animo. It's not necessarily going to be in the same order too because my notes are all over the place. There was a lot to cover. Animo. Animo is we're on the Xbox showcase. We're on the Xbox showcase now. This happened Sunday, 11 a.m. MST. And it was basically a third-party showcase. Let's be honest. There were some Xbox timed exclusives, but there was a lot of stuff for PS5, PC. We got some hardware announcements too. So Xbox showcase, Animo, free to play, creature catching, open world action RPG, coming to mobile, Windows PC, Xbox, and that's it. So timed exclusive coming out in 2026. What did I say this was? I said it's like Pokemon meets Infinity Nikki. This looks cool. Not for me.
Yeah, it definitely looks interesting. I think there's some cool potential here. My only say what you will. I get people are on a budget. My big concern is the free to play part of that, just because you've got the company has to earn its money, and I respect that, right? So how it looks, but yeah, Infinite Nikki plus Pokemon. I will say this is the one thing. This game, I screamed. I was like, "Wait, is this Pal World 2?"
Yep.
But yeah, it's cute. Go check it out, guys, if that's your kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's what I said. Power World meets Infinity Nikki. Yeah, it's cool to see these what I assume to be UE5 games coming out. They're really pretty, but yeah, the genre's not for me. I'm not into it. We got a sequel to a really cool side scroller action adventure, cool art style. Planet of Lana 2. Planet of Lana was really awesome. Kind of fell off for me. It is on my backlog. I do want to play it, but it's also an Xbox exclusive that still, from what I know, has not come to PS5. So I'm just waiting on that. But we got a sequel to that, Planet of Lana 2. Children of the Leaf is coming to Xbox in 2026. We got a year. So it's an ambitious cinematic puzzle adventure that doubles in size from the last one. So pretty cool. I called this pretty early on. That's really cool.
Yeah, you did. It definitely it's your kind of game. It's a Matt game. Probably not for me, but it's definitely looks cool as all hell, man. Go get it. Go play it and report back.
Yep. Think Inside or Limbo, and it's a little more colorful than those. Something happened that I thought would never happen. I actually thought it would happen eventually, but not this quick. Xbox is finally getting Final Fantasy VII Remake. And on top of that, they're getting Final Fantasy 16 for Xbox platforms. Awesome. Let more people play these amazing games. Both of them were my game of the year for that year they released. This makes me hopeful. This actually isn't for me. This announcement isn't for me at all because I already platinum Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS5, Intergrade on PS5, and I finished Final Fantasy 16 on PS5 as well. However, this makes me excited that we may finally be getting a PS5 Pro patch for 16. And if that's the case, 16 was my game of the year, and I will revisit 16 and finally get that platinum. I just have to do my Final Fantasy hard playthrough. So the Final Fantasy difficulty playthrough. It's cool to see them coming to Xbox. What are your thoughts?
This is something I never thought I'd see, right? I'm not going to say never, but it was nothing that I was expecting anytime soon. I'm really happy to see this coming over. One, the big thing is Final Fantasy 16. They said is available today, as the day we're recording, right? So you'll be able to jump on your Xbox or machine, whatever your Xbox machine is, because everything's an Xbox now. I'm kidding, folks. I'm kidding. If you're an Xbox gamer, I'm sorry. That was a little low. But totally awesome. I love it. The other thing that gives me hope here, Matt, is I'm hoping finally go ahead, get off your ass, Square Enix, and give us Final Fantasy 13 onto other platforms. I'm tired of it being isolated into that generation. Please, please, please make this happen. I am not a Final Fantasy revisionist. I've been a Final Fantasy 13 revisionist. I've been a Final Fantasy 13 fan since it came out. Please let me get more Lightning in my life.
Oh, yeah. I want a remaster so bad. The more people that can play it on more plastic boxes, the better, in my opinion. Share the love, share the games. Everyone should be able to play. yeah, I would love to see a Final Fantasy 13 remaster, and I love most of the Final Fantasy mainline titles. Super excited that they're finally getting this, and Rebirth is probably on the way, maybe next year. So couldn't be more excited for them. This announcement isn't for me unless there's a pro patch for 16. Then it's definitely for me because I've been waiting on it since the pro was announced. This next one, Resonance: A Plague Tale Legacy, is from the developers Sobo Studio and Focus Entertainment. Did you play the A Plague Tale games, A Plague Tale Innocence and A Plague Tale Requiem?
I want to say I played Innocence for a little bit, and it wasn't that it was a bad game or anything, but I stopped for some reason. I wish I could tell you, but I barely remember what I had for breakfast, man. But
Yeah.
this is definitely, it was interesting because if, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, and my memory's a little fuzzy, but it was kind of like a this cool third person action stealth kind of game, but with some horror elements kind of mixed in. Um, yeah, it definitely was interesting, and that's kind of where I'm at with my history on it. This game looks good, and if I get a chance to jump back in to the other two games, I think this might be right up my alley. What about you, man?
Yeah, I loved the A Plague Tale games. I really want to revisit Requiem on the PS5 Pro and finally platinum it. I platinumed Innocence. Think The Last of Us, and I shit you not, The Last of Us in the 1300s during the Black Plague in England, in Europe. So, and it's really cool mechanics, third person action adventure. Uh, and this character was in Requiem, and they're doing kind of a spinoff. It looks like. I'm very excited for this
Oh.
game. It looks really cool. I love A Plague Tale. I really like both games, and I'm very excited for this one. This got put on my list, and I will probably be playing it. We got a year; it's coming out in 2026, so keep a lookout for that one. And if you haven't played A Plague Tale or any of the games, go check them out. They're really cool. I like them. They're really pretty. They play well, and on newer hardware, they run better. They had some issues at launch on older hardware, but that's been fixed. So I highly recommend A Plague Tale Innocence and Requiem. It's very The Last of Us in 1300s Black Plague. So really cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like it.
absolutely. Awesome, man.
Yeah,
Cool. I look forward. Go once again. Go play it and report back to me.
exactly. Let us know what you think. At Fate's End is a from the developer Thunder Lotus Games. They made Spiritfarer. Is a 2D, very artistic side scroller. Looks like a Metroidvania, but wasn't confirmed. This one definitely has my attention. Looks really cool. Looks like there's some card based mechanic combat. And there was like two sisters, and they were dueling, and it had some really cool art. This was announced multi-platform, and I think it releases. I don't. I think there was no release date, but looks cool. I put this on my list. This looks really cool. You were like, this looks like a Matt game.
Yeah, and I don't mean in any like
Oh no, I know.
derogatory way. This is the art style, I've seen it. The platforming, I've seen it. The one thing that I say this makes me the stand out amongst the pack is, like you said, that card mechanic. And it kind of looks like it's choice based. So as you're fighting, you get either it's a card or it's a kind of some kind of choice, and that determines how the fight evolves, which I think is a really cool concept. So absolutely, that's like one thing that's making me go, ooh, maybe there is something to this one that kind of separates it from the rest, because you need to get something different to get my attention. So that's definitely one of them. And I will say that two things. One, Sad Panda. So far, this is one of those timed exclusive ones because I think might be something that would be really cool to check out on a weekend.
Oh
And it's also a 2026 game, so maybe we get lucky and play it in 2027.
yeah, it'll be a timed exclusive. It'll be on PS5 before you know it. I can't
Yeah,
wait for it to come. But if it doesn't, there are other games to play. No harm, no foul. Uh, Looks cool. I'm
yeah,
interested.
absolutely.
Next one. I was interested until they kind of showed the gameplay and what it was, because I'm unfortunately not into the genre. It's Invincible Versus. It's a 3v3 tag fighter, 2D. looks cool. Looks kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom, but in the Invincible world. I am not really familiar with the Invincible world. Haven't watched the anime, and am not into 2D fighting games at all. I don't think this got a release date, but if I'm wrong, correct me. Not for me. Is it for you, Bob?
Unfortunately, it is not. I wish I could say it was. The only thing I know about Invincible is all the memes that I see online with Invincible. I have to let me see if I can find that for you while you're looking at it. I think this is a
Yep.
2026 game.
Okay.
Um, I'm not able to get past through, but I think this is another 2026 game. Looks cool. If you like Marvel versus Capcom and you like Invincible, I don't know what that Venn diagram looks like. But go check it out, man. It definitely looks fun. I just don't know anything about it.
Yep. Just not for me. This next one though is, and I'm super excited for it, and I know you are because you have it drafted. We got a new trailer that looks incredible. It looks like it's running real well now. Looks like they polished it. It's a survival horror from the amazing developers that made Silent Hill 2 remake, and that is Bloober Team. The game is Chronos: The New Dawn, and we got a new trailer. Makes me even more excited for it. It's on my list. I think it's going to be my spooky game I play because it's probably going to release, I'd say, sometime in October. We got a window, fall of 2025. So it's releasing this year. Couldn't be more excited. Uh, I have a lot of faith in this developer because of what they did with the Silent Hill series, and the Silent Hill remake was awesome. I loved it. So this actually that game makes me more excited for this game. Think BioShock meets Silent Hill with probably some time manipulation in there. It looks awesome. The first time I saw this game, I was in, and the more and more I see of it, the more and more I'm interested. What do you think of this new trailer?
I think this new trailer just kind of sells what's already been sold. If I'm being honest, this gives me more. The one thing that makes me sad is it's still just 2025. If I'm a betting man, I think this is probably a November game, which makes me sad. But at the same time, I was not counting on this thing to be a game of the year game, but I was counting on this game to be a Bob's gonna play at the end of the year when I've got some holiday time. Just this is coming from its Wikipedia for those that are like, what do you mean Dead Space meets this? So you play as somebody called it's a third person perspective. You play as somebody called the Traveler. The Traveler can use both melee abilities and a variety of firearms to defeat enemies. If defeated enemies are not properly disposed, a surviving enemy will emerge with the undead corpses, creating a hardened, more difficult version of the same enemy. In other words, and I'm not going to tell you there's a mechanic in there. If you don't use a certain mechanic to absolutely kill an enemy, you don't get the Resident Evil remake where the enemy comes back up. You get a new thing and it's harder. So I love this concept. Survival horrors are great, but high level survival horror play is about how effectively you can get through the game without firing a firearm, without doing XYZ, without engaging with everything that's in there. I think this is really cool because it might force you to. So that's where my thoughts are at, man. Thank you for the notice on this game because it would have went under my radar if you hadn't brought it up, and I'm excited.
Yeah, it's such a cool concept in a game, right? You leave the enemies down on the floor, and then they revive and merge to create another new enemy. So cool. Yeah, I saw this game announced. I think it might have been the Game Awards or before that. I don't know. I was fully in when I saw Bloober Team because I think I was on the heels of playing Silent Hill 2. This is definitely going to be my I think it'll hit in spooky season being late October. Mina's not going to take a while. I would play Mina over this, but if this game hits, I don't know, before or after, I'm definitely playing this either before Mina or after. So, and it's going to be my kind of spooky Halloween game. I might even play both of them because I like to play a spooky game on Halloween or during that season. So it might be a double up for me because the genres are so deviated that, like, if I rarely play two games at once, but if I do, the genres have to be completely different. And I think I can pull this one off. So this one is I'm 100% interested playing it probably as soon as it comes out. during spooky season, hopefully. So yeah, I couldn't be more excited for that. And I'm glad you are excited for it too. So Indiana Jones in the Great Circle got some DLC. Uh, this one isn't for me, and I'll tell you why. So it looks cool. I haven't played Indiana Jones, and I probably won't anytime soon because DLC just got announced for it. You know what? I'm going to wait. I said I was going to wait. I am interested. I love Indiana Jones. First person kind of has me turned off. Machine Games, though, very interested in that developer. They make Wolfenstein and an incredible Bethesda first person shooter developer on the level of id Software. But I will probably wait because DLC just got announced and I'm going to get the Game of the Year Ultimate Complete Edition now. This DLC looks cool. I have no idea what's going on in the actual game. It releases September 4th. It's called Indiana Jones The Great Circle, The Order of Giants. And for those of you that have played Indiana Jones, if you want more of it, DLC is coming out in a couple months. So what are your thoughts on this?
I think this looks really cool, man. I think there's good. Maybe I'll get a chance to play this because I think Indiana Jones isn't necessarily an IP that I'm really gung ho for, but I recognize it as one of those. If I call it my airplane movie, and what I mean by is if I'm waiting on an airplane ride and I need a movie, I'm going to pick something that's at least somewhat in my realm of taste and I might enjoy. That's Indiana Jones. Same thing with the games, first person. You add machine games to it. All right, you got my attention. But I will say there's confidence in this because everything that I've heard about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, it's an amazing game, or at least a very solid game. Just I'm getting tired of the names, man. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, The Order of Giants. You're sounding like a freaking anime title right now. Like, please, let's cut this down. Sorry.
Yeah, that's literally 2 subtitles. It's interesting.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. It's 2 subtitles attached into this one game. That no, no, no. I don't like it aesthetically. It drives me up a wall.
Right. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of the Indiana Jones IP. Loved the movies, the first 3. The recent 2 were okay. I haven't even watched the 5th one. The 4th one was okay, not better than the first 3. I love Indy. I will play this game at some point, but like I said, I was waiting for it to come to PS5, and now I'm waiting for the complete edition because this might not be the only DLC we get. So it's gonna go into like the Nephilim giants. So pretty cool. I've heard a lot of good things about this game too, and I hope the DLC is just as great. So I'll get it when the complete edition comes out. I'm there. That's where I'm at.
Yep.
Another game announced. There are no ghosts at the Grand. It's a spooky, cozy musical mystery that also involves a renovation gun and has cats, I believe. So if you can tell, this game isn't for me. It looks fun and cool, but not for me.
Yeah, not for me. The best way I can describe it to anybody, because that description was very bad, visually speaking, you can look for it, is this is Luigi's Mansion with Power Wash Simulator smushed together into something, okay?
Oh, that was this game. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of cool. I think it's a great artistic game. Maybe that is something you're into. It's just not for me. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, I thought initially it was either a Power Wash Simulator sequel or from the developers of Power Wash Simulator. Yeah, this game actually does look kind of cool. It's a first-person Luigi's Mansion. That's a really good way to put it. So, but I probably won't play it. So, this next one I probably won't play either. Looks really cool. Looks really unique. You're a fucking lighthouse walking around. It's called Keeper. It's from Double Fine Productions, and the developers of Psychonauts. I love Psychonauts. Psychonauts 3 was awesome. I loved it. Or was it 2? I don't know, man. It was the last game that came out. It came to PS5 and I loved it. I platinumed it. I think it was 2.
It was too, because everybody
Yeah.
it was the Silk song of that series. It was memed on until it came out.
Yeah, exactly. It's their next project, and it's third-person action adventure, and you play as a literal walking lighthouse with a bird on it, It looked like you gained abilities and access new places, kind of like the Metroid in Metroidvania, but it's not a Metroidvania. It's definitely not 2D side-scrolling maps connected, but it has kind of those Metroid aspects where you get your light and then you can shine the light and it opens up a new path in the level. So this is a timed exclusive coming out sometime in 2026. We got a year, but it's timed exclusive. I might check this out when it comes on PS5. But other than that, right now, it's not for me.
Yeah, definitely not for me. Psychonauts is definitely or not. I'm sorry, not Psychonauts, but Double Fine makes some really surreal games, some acid trip style games. So maybe if I smoke a big bowl and decide to sit in front of the TV one day, I'll fire this up. But it's a timed exclusive, so who knows when that'll happen.
Dude, it looks like a freaking mushroom trip. The game, like the lighthouse, is just walking around. Like you're a literal lighthouse. If you don't believe me, go look at the trailer. It's called Keeper. Uh, Looks like a trip for sure. This next one, I was like, oh, this is a ripoff of a Returnal, but it's from Dontnod. Dontnod is a really cool developer. The game is Aphelion, and it's third person space action adventure. They didn't really show a lot of like unique gameplay mechanics, but if it's a Dontnod, it'll probably be very heavy in the storytelling, maybe some choose your own adventure stuff, but it really reminds me of Returnal. And I think it's going to kind of play into some of those aspects. It kind of looked like she died and came back too. Like, I think it's heavily inspired by Eternal. You remember this game? What do you think of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember it because while I'm not a huge don't nod guy, I'm going to be honest. Life is Strange was never my thing. Just not my. Never could get to it. Right. It's Telltale inspired. Right. That's what Don't Nod does. Is they take a really good established thing, make it their own, and they make. Quite frankly, they tell a good story with it. But most notoriously, they made a game that I wasn't necessarily. Hard on. I thought it was a good 7.5 game, and that was their 2024 game, Banishers: Ghost of New Eden. Kind of came and went like a fart in the wind. Banishers is just the quick a short story is Banishers from a gameplay perspective was very. It was kind of okay. It was middle of the ground. I think the story was really cool, and if you really gave it kept an open mind, it was awesome. So this being more of a story driven instead of an action driven, I think goes right into don't nod strengths in telling a good story. They just have to do the one thing that they do that they often happens to them, which is they get in their own way and they trip over their own genitalia. I'm trying to be
Ah,
nice. Yeah, I'm trying to get better, folks. I'm trying not to be that guy. But
man, just
don't get in your own way, right? And if they can do that, I think this will be a cool game, and I might check it out. You never know.
yeah, looks cool. Not for me.
Yeah.
So we got a sequel to Grounded. Grounded 2 got announced. I know a lot of people play Grounded. It was originally an Xbox exclusive, came to PS5, one of the four that came to PS5, and a lot of people play it. A lot of people are excited for it. It's a third person Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, uh, castle defense, craft weapons from killing bugs, action adventure. It sounds really cool, but I'm not going to get into it. It sounds like it's requires a lot of time. It's a Xbox timed exclusive, or the first one was. This one probably will be too. Let's be honest. There's no more Xbox exclusives anymore. It's coming out right around the corner, July 29th, and this is really soon. Like Grounded, man, it hasn't been like 3 years since Grounded came out. I feel like this is Obsidian Entertainment, so really cool developer behind it. Looks cool. Not for me.
Yeah, not for me. I like the developer because they make some good games, including stuff we're about to we'll mention later. But not my style. But yeah, absolutely. If you like whatever tower defense survival stuff like Call of Duty Zombies, go check it out. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. If I had more time, I would probably check this one out. The next one is a deviation of a older game. They're going into a new art style, new genre, actually. Remember Super Meat Boy? Well, guess what, kids? We're getting a Super Meat Boy 3D. And that actually makes me more excited. And I hope they somewhat nerf the game because, man, Super Meat Boy was really hard. It was pixel art, 2D side scrolling. They're going for a full rendered 3D action platformer, it looks like. So this one is for me, but it's coming out in 2026. If I have time, I'll play it. I love me some 3D platformers, especially ones that are a nod to the old school stuff. And yeah, this one just looks really fun and really gruesome. Did you ever play Super Meat Boy?
Yeah, and I got frustrated.
Yeah.
You're not kidding when we talk about difficulty. There's so this is definitely up my alley. It's difficult platformer. No, I did not beat Super Meat Boy, but doesn't mean I didn't enjoy every moment that I did play it. Um, the fact it's going to 3D and quite frankly, it looks really clean, dude. Matt, this looks slick. And if they can make the transition from 2D to 3D while keeping the platforming tight, that's really impressive. So I'm not saying I'm all in on this, but if I get an opportunity, this game is coming into my hands and I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, it's on my list. I like what I saw, and I am pretty sold. Like I said, it looks awesome, and I'm going to play it. The next one we already knew. We're already super excited for it. We're probably going to play it on stream, and that's they gave us a little sizzle reel and a little bit of new information for Gears of War Reloaded. It's a remaster of the original Gears of War for Xbox 360, and we got a multiplayer beta test coming in June 13. This is my least exciting feature of this game, the multiplayer, but you gotta admit, man, the Gears of War games had incredible multiplayer, and it sounds like they're kind of bringing everything they did in 2 and 3 to this multiplayer for the Gears of War Reloaded remake or remaster. And I mean, this is on our list. We're gonna play it. It's third person co-op, you know, the Coalition versus the Hive, and it comes out on August 26th. Follows Marcus Phoenix. Man, Gears of War. What can I say about Gears of War? I played all three of them, loved them. It's surreal that this is coming to PS5, and we got a new kind of sizzle trailer. It's reinforcing my excitement for it, and couldn't be more excited to play it. Comes out at a really bad time. We're probably not necessarily going to play it on launch, but we'll get around to it because it comes out 4 days before Snake Eater. So, but you're excited for it, right?
So I'm excited for it in a weird way. I'm excited for Gears of War because I am expecting the potential possibility of that Thanos meme that's going to be possibly I judged you too harshly. I think Gears of War it's one of those series that I think is really good, but it never got my attention. So maybe I can visit it. What now? Almost 15 years later now at this point, and say almost 20. Holy crap, I'm getting old. And say, okay, is there something that I missed the first time? Because quite frankly, what Gears of War provided. I know what game I played right after it, and I won't go into that, but the game I played right after it, I think did everything almost better. It was ahead of its time. So maybe that's what soured it.
So I like what Cliffy B, the creator of Gears of War, said. It's you have your Call of Duty, you have your Battlefield, Battlefront. Those are run and gun, but this is more of a stop and pop. So
Uh-huh.
you get behind cover, you pop up, you shoot, you go behind cover. The enemies are very spongy. It has an incredible story. I am a huge Gears of War fan. I kind of put it to rest uh, the when I went to PlayStation as my primary, but seeing it on PS5, I couldn't be more excited for this. And I'm going to pull your ass into this game, and we're going to play it whether you like it or not, because this game is incredible. Takes about maybe 10 hours to complete. You're going to love it. You're going to play it. We're probably not going to play it on release, but yeah, you're going to play this one. It's going to be great. Second and third one is better. So this is kind of like a taste of what's to come, but it's a good appetizer for the series. So it's going to be great. I'm very excited for it. We'll play it. The next one, we finally got a release date for a game that was announced in the Developer Direct, the Xbox Developer Direct, and that is Ninja Gaiden 4. I gotta say, this trailer they showed is getting me more excited for this game. This game is on my list. It's coming out in a bad time, so I probably won't play it on release. But it's coming out October 21st. We got a release date. This was actually one of my predictions that we both got right. So that's cool. We got a release date for Ninja Gaiden 4, October 21st, third person, action heavy, Devil May Cry, ninja gameplay, emphasis on different weapons you can use. And boy, oh boy, did we see some more new weapons in this trailer. This trailer was fucking awesome.
Yeah, this trailer makes me put this game on the list. When I'll get to it, I don't know, but this is the game. When people say Ninja Gaiden is a good, like a difficult game, and they try to sell it to me, this is what I'm looking for. Because the Ninja Gaiden that came out on Xbox, the original Xbox, was Devil May Cry at home. This is something different. This looks good. I want to be able to play this. It's on the list. When I get to it, you never know. But man, those visceral attacks and stabbing of animations of the blood. Oh gosh, it looks great. I love it.
Yeah, this game, I've heard the Ninja Gaiden games are hard. I only played the 2D Ninja Gaiden games, never finished them. They're super fucking hard. I know Ninja Gaiden 2 Black just got remastered. Heard it's super hard. I'm actually interested in it. It's an IP. I'm willing to jump into the fourth one and just have fun with it because of how fun it looks. But yeah, it's an IP I never got into. Couldn't be more excited for 4 though, and I might just jump in on 4 just to check it out. And it follows our boy Ryu, so I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. But you do not play these games at least not for me. I'm not going to play the game for the story. I'm going to play it because I want the action.
Yeah, I've heard you can't play the game for the platinum either because they're almost impossible. So whatever. I just want to play it. I'm kind of craving some Devil May Cry, but also we are getting Lost Soul Aside around the same time. So who knows? It all depends on how I feel and what I feel like playing. But I'm definitely interested in that game. Another sequel we got, game I never played, game I'm interested in playing, but I haven't got around to it because other games have come out that I wanted to play more. High on Life 2, first person shooter. The hook is your gun talks, and it's from the writers of Rick and Morty. Everything I saw of the first one was really funny. I was really interested. It was a timed exclusive on Xbox One. Finally came to the PS5. It's on my wish list. There's no fucking time. But I'm really interested in the first one. So the second one got released. The trailer looks crazy. You can definitely tell it's Rick and Morty writers, and that comes this winter. So and it's for all platforms. So this one won't be timed exclusive. So might be time to revisit, or might be time to finally visit the first one, but probably not. We have like 5 games every fucking month for the remainder of the year. So
yeah,
my list is just, I'm already booked, man. Sorry.
You got to have a bouncer outside that club, man. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, just not for me. Not for me.
I agree with you. This is a game that I gotta let go. It looks interesting, but I gotta let it go, man. I just gotta accept the fact that I'm not gonna get to it, and because I love me some weird acid trip style games. I think they're unique, right? You're showing creative expression, and I think this does that exact same thing. But I'm not gonna get to it. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Same here. If I'm bored and I feel the calling for this specific genre and I want to pick it up, I will. But it doesn't look like I'm going to be bored. And there's a shitload of games coming out. Another game coming out that I was very interested in, but seeing more of the gameplay, I'm kind of a little like, not for me anymore. It looks really cool though. Reminds me a lot of BioShock Infinite. It's called Clockwork Revolution. This was one of the first few they showed. Like I said, my list isn't in order. My notes are all over the place. It's really hard to take notes during the show and then like be excited for the show at the same time and really pay attention to the show. So whatever, it's not in order. In Exile is making this game, and it's man, what can I say? First person, kind of BioShock meets Mass Effect, I'd say. There's some choices you can make, which is kind of the turnoff for me. I'm not like, feed me the game. I don't want to build the game for you. I don't like the choose your own adventure, unfortunately. Uh, but it looks really cool. It has some really funny moments. There's time manipulation. It's set in a steampunk world. If I want to hear more about this game, I am interested, and I want to do a little bit of research and see how intricate the choices are, and if they're, like the choices in other games where it doesn't really matter and you get the same story. But it kind of seems like there's a lot of choice based stuff, and it changes the whole entire game depending on the choices you make. Looks really cool though. So, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think the best thing about this game is the fact that it does not have an actual release date or window right now. It's just an announcement. This game screams Bob. A third or so upcoming, or they call it as an upcoming action role playing video game. And then I was doing some little bit of digging into this. According to, and this comes from Eurogamer, according to the game director, it may look like Bioshock Infinite, but the project is better described as a love child of role playing games such as Arcanum of Steamworks or Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I know that's a mouthful, but this is exactly my kind of game. It's got the character, the flair, that little doll that likes talking shit the whole time. Oh my god, I love him. You want to kick him in the head, but it's an amazing piece. So there's definitely something here. This what I say about this game is, you remember what you said about Claire Obscure having personality and like unique identity. That's what this has right here. I see this and I go, it's not going to light the world on fire for me, but for me, this is got identity. It's got character. It's got it's all there. So the best thing is the fact that it doesn't have a release date. Please get out of the way, and I will get to you, so I can get to everything else, and then you can come right into my loving arms, and I'll play you, because this is a yes for me.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I need to see more on it, honestly. I need a release date, and it kind of looks right up my alley, too. It's gorgeous. And I think he does kick the puppet in the head at some point in the
Yes,
game.
just the what is Austin Powers mini me thing? The boom, kick
Hmm.
out, get out of here.
Yep. Yeah, it looked really cool. This wasn't the first time it was shown. I think it was shown in last year's showcase, the Xbox showcase, if I'm not mistaken, with Claire Obscure. And yeah, it is dripping with style. I will attest to that. I will agree with you on that one. So I'm glad you're excited for it. I want to see more on it. I want to see more how it plays and what the choice and consequences are. But yeah, and it's in the vein of the next game, or the next game I have on my list that you have that was announced. I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, so this was announced at the Game Awards last year. This game 100% is a sequel and a follow up to a very, I want to say, flew under the radar Obsidian game, and that's the Outer Worlds 2. This, what can I say about this game? This game is Fallout, where you've got the sci-fi aspect to it. It's very Bethesda coded, action RPG, character driven, story driven, except it takes place in a well, at least the first one takes place in a colony of planets that were sent that was colonized by Earth. The problem is, because you're so many light years away, there's been a cutoff from Earth doesn't get to respond as fast because communications are slower. So what happens? Corporations take over, and then you live in this like dystopian corporate society where one corporation's more powerful than another, and it's got so much what'd you say earlier, style. I think
Yeah.
that's what's best about the Outer Worlds. Like, people can see this in the marketing, and this isn't really necessarily a spoiler for the game, but just give you an idea. That dude with the moon around his, like a moon for his head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually a corporate mascot. And in the original one, there's a dude at a counter that for that corporation selling their equipment. If you talk to him long enough and eventually get to talk to him, you find out that he's legally bound, he's contractually bound to never take the helmet off, to include when he's sleeping.
That's funny.
But you can hear it in his voice. He's miserable the whole time, but he's really not willing to break the contract. So, this has got BioShock elements added to it. It feels like now based on what I saw with the trailers and a little bit of cleanup, like I'm sold, man. The perks or the not only the perk system but the flaw system. I think you and I were chatting about it, dude. You can get flaws for your character that'll give you a boost, but they come with a downside. The one that had me dying the most was the bad knees. So you move quicker when you're crouching if you're a stealth kill, but the second you stand up, your knees literally pop and it catches everybody's attention. And they showed it where he stood up and you hear that crack and everybody turns around and looks at the character. I almost pissed myself laughing, dude. That was
That's
amazing.
funny.
I'm all for this. This is a almost stop the presses kind of game for me.
Nice. And we'll probably hear more about it when you play it, and it'll be in the What Are We Playing? So, because you're playing this for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I never played the first one. I don't. The more I see it, the more I kind of want to play it. It's giving me those Ratchet and Clank vibes too. Maybe when I hear more of when you're playing it, when I hear more of it, I can't wait to hear more about it, and I might be interested. But again, when, right? It's just a matter of time. It's an IP I'm interested in. It's an IP I think I would get into, but when will I play it? So I'm glad you're excited for it, and I can't wait to hear more about it when you play it. And that releases this year, right?
Yeah, October 29th. I will say, if you are somewhat interested, I'm not saying necessarily from a story perspective, but Outer Worlds, the original, is very succinct. We're talking 25 hours. You can beat the game.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. It's on my radar. I can't wait to hear more about it when you play it. Yeah, that's cool. They're getting a sequel. And it comes out this year. So you're excited for it. And I think that's one of the ones you have drafted. So.
Yes, sir.
Very cool. Very cool. The next one I have on my list, this one is crazy. The developer makes no sense, but it piques my interest. This was actually a game I immediately put on my list, and I'm very excited for. I would love to hear more about it. It's called Beast of Reincarnation, and it's made by the Pokemon developer Game Freak. This was previously known as the Project Bloom codename game, and has a release date of 2026. It's set in post-apocalyptic Japan, land ruined by corruption, crawling with monstrous beasts. And the developer said players will explore what it means to be human in in the game, an expansive one-person, one-dog action RPG built around demanding technical combat. This game fucking screams to me, and I am very excited for it. Third person action RPG. The developer is the same developer of Pokemon, Game Freak. I am so interested. I want to learn more. Everything interests me. I'd say this was like my fourth best announcement of the entire Summer Game Fest. This really piques my interest, man. What'd you think?
Yeah, you definitely has my attention. We This goes back to more of what I was seeing about the internet, or what we were talking about at the beginning. I'm gonna take us all the way back to the beginning of this episode where we were talking about the negativity online, because I use, like you said, great Game Freak. I was like, what? Game Freak? I know they're owned by 30% of them is owned by Big Daddy Nintendo. What the hell's going on? Like, this looks amazing. This isn't Scarlet and Violet. And then I hear people talking about, well, did you check the frame rates? Um, all right. If you are talking about the frame rates of this trailer, I want you to stop. And if you are one of these people online and you happen to be listening to the show, do me a favor, stop and put the crack pipe down. You, your internet is crap, because this game looks amazing. It's doesn't have to be ultra violent. It's just not Pokemon, and it goes to show this is Game Freak telling Nintendo, if you let us get off the leash and stop doing Pokemon, we can make some probably really good IP. And the fact they gave it to it's over at Xbox's land, I think this is a good like beacon for Nintendo to learn that, hey, maybe you should let these guys that you have a really good rapport with, let them breathe, let them do something different. Because I guarantee you, this game, I've got a feeling, Matt, I'm calling it now, this game's going to hit. I think it
Yeah,
will.
it looks like it. Honestly, like you have that feeling, right? With like Tides of Annihilation and how I felt of Clair Obscur. This game might not hit on that level that Clair Obscur did, but it really piques my interest, man. And I'm like, Game Freak, holy shit! like you said, I thought they were on the leash of Nintendo, but apparently not. And everything I saw looks awesome. I think we saw gameplay, and it's really cool looking. So love it. Very interested. It's on my list. Can't wait to hear more about it. Let's see. Xbox announced new hardware. We got they got basically, it's not Xbox first party hardware, and I think this is a hint to what the next Xbox will be. They're going to outsource it, and it's going to be third party hardware with this is an Xbox too. But the ROG Ally got announced, and they kind of announced it as Xbox hardware when it really isn't. The ROG Ally X, and it's ugly in my opinion. Kind of looks like a Steam Deck or something else, but it's a portable. The most interesting announcement during this hardware presentation was they showed a lot of Hollow Knight Silksong, and they said the ROG Ally is going to be out sometime later this year, along with Hollow Knight Silksong launching on it. So we kind of got a release window for Hollow Knight Silksong without a trailer. They showed some gameplay clips, but we now know Hollow Knight Silksong will probably, maybe not, release sometime later this year. I'd say I get that prediction. I get that prediction right, because I said we'll get I said, will we get anything announced for Hollow Knight Silksong, and we did.
I'll say this much. I've been eating so good, particularly with my predictions and what I've been asking for this year. I think that's worthy of tossing you the free bone on this one. What can I say? I'm in a generous mood. I do want to say though, Matt, upside to the Silksong, which I'm so glad Silksong fans like yourself are getting teases and more. It's more than I'll ever get of like Half-Life 3, right? With this ROG Ally, two things that came to mind is one, at the very end, they just put this is an Xbox, which I thought kind of made me laugh. The other piece that makes me interested about that's curious is I'm putting the pieces together now because hindsight's 2020. Is I heard about the Xbox Remote Play app, kind of being, I'm not saying fully unsupported, but it's kind of been reboxed and it doesn't work as well and all this other stuff. Now all of a sudden, this is my aha moment. This makes sense. They were working with our Republic of Gamers which is Asus effectively, to make something that natively runs the Xbox app or the Xbox ecosystem along, and then it allows it to tie in, I believe they said, with Steam and GOG, which I think is really cool. I'm not an Xbox gamer per se, and I already have a PlayStation Portal. I would have to see more about pricing on whether I would be into this, because there is a chance if this was like a really good system that allowed me to do Game Pass stuff for whatever X dollars a month. There's a chance, because this is definitely one of those I want to pick up and play an old school game that I can't get anywhere else. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, definitely. The hardware announcement's definitely not for me. It's more of a handheld PC, and they marketed it as this is an Xbox, right? I think it's hilarious. It's very interesting that they're outsourcing their hardware development third party now, and I think we'll see maybe the next Xbox do the same, because they're not really in the hardware space anymore, and they're not really they're doing first party stuff, and they're pretty much evolving into a third-party publisher developer, which is totally fine by me. Give me all those games on PS5. What does interest me, though, is this kind of hint of when we're getting Hollow Knight Silksong, because I'm very excited for that. And the fact that they even said, it's still coming this year. Awesome. I have it drafted. I'm super excited for it. I'm going to play it day one, probably. Please don't launch in October, for the love of God. But yeah, it was interesting how they kind of just slipped that Silksong announcement in there after the shade it got at the Summer Game Fest showcase. So poor Silksong. I really fucking hope it comes out this year. Jesus. The next announcement is really cool and important, and a big announcement for everyone else, probably except me. Persona 4 Remake got announced. Persona 4 Revival. They showed a little bit of gameplay. It is a remake of Persona 3 Reload. Wait, no, a remake in the vein of Persona 3 Reload. You see how versed in Persona I am. It's a remake of Persona 4, and it's called Persona 4 Revival, in the vein of the remake that Persona 3 got. Make sense?
Kind of. All right. So, so the way I'm gonna say is, yeah, you know what? Go fuck it. Go with that.
Yeah.
Because there was don't forget there was the Golden Persona 4 Golden Edition, which is kind of like a port with the updated features and everything. This is a full revival. So screw it. Good enough.
It's a remake for Persona 4 in the vein of Persona 3 Reload. So what Persona 3 Reload did for Persona 3 Golden, Persona 4 Revival is going to do for Persona 4.
It's so. Can you keep up, folks?
Yeah, can keep up. We're almost done. It's okay. Persona is another IP that I'm extremely interested in. I have Persona 5 Royale sitting on my shelf. I know I will love it. It's a turn-based, cel-shaded RPG. I know I would love Metaphor, same developer. But again, very, very time-intensive games, and it just requires time I don't have right now. But I know I'd love the IPs. I know you've played Metaphor. You keep saying, dude, you're going to love Metaphor. I know. Trust me. I love the Tales series. I love turn-based RPGs. I loved Clair Obscur. I'm going to love the shit out of Persona 5 and Metaphor. I just don't have an extra 250 hours right now, man.
Yeah. I agree with you. Persona 4 is one of the so I got finally dove into Persona with Persona 5, and then it was like, okay, I finally understand. But I was aware of Persona 4 when it came out. But it released in 2008. Do you know what else released in 2008, Matt?
A lot.
Fallout 3, Dead Space, Fable 2, Gears of War 2, Left 4 Dead, Metal Gear Solid 4. Like you see where I'm going with this, right?
Good year for gaming, yeah.
It was a good year for gaming. So this is unfortunately another one of those. It just sat on the backlog long enough until finally they're gonna give us a remake. But if I know a few Persona fans that are screaming right now because they're so happy. So hey, awesome! I love to hear it.
Yeah, definitely. This was heavily rumored because the voice actor Yuri Lowenthal kind of tweeted that he's not in it, and we're like, oh, it exists. So this was heavily rumored, and we finally got the announcement. I'm very excited for the Persona fans out there. I know 4 is a really good one in the series, and I'm very excited for them. But it's not for me. I'll play Persona 5 when I can. Are you going to get this? Are you going to get Persona 4?
Maybe. There's no hard date on.
intensive.
Yeah, it's time intensive, and there's no hard date on it. So if I can sneak it in, I definitely would like to because I'm a sucker for RPGs.
Yeah. So we're to the closer, the epic game of the show, the crown jewel of all the announcements. We got Resident Evil 9 at Summer Game Fest Showcase. We got Marvel Tokon at the State of Play, and we're ready for this banger, right? The Xbox world premiere comes up. There's a little butterfly on it. I'm like, oh, it's Fable. Nice. No, it has this awesome, epic third person gameplay, and the butterflies like flying everywhere, and it looks so cool. And I'm like, man, this game's gonna be awesome. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like Butterfly Effect or something. It kind of reminds me of the one game from Remedy, from
Control.
Xbox. Yeah, Control, but the other one that was Xbox exclusive. What was it called? Look that up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, awesome. And then it's a fucking CG trailer. Okay, people are excited for this. It's not for me. It's a fucking CG trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops 7. This isn't for me at all. I'm not a Call of Duty fan. I haven't played any of them, and you don't close out a show with this. I guess it's exciting for everyone else. Just you can take this one. I don't care about it.
I got you. First off, you're thinking of Quantum Break, I bet.
Quantum Break, that's what it was.
Secondly, Yeah, I gotta go look at this because I'm like, what is going on here? I feel like this came out. Yeah, this is what strikes me as like the most weird, Matt. I know you've got your eyes glazed over. It's late. For anybody that doesn't understand, we're recording a little bit later because of our scheduling. What really strikes me weird is Black Ops 6 just came out, not even a year ago.
I
From my
know.
understanding. So, traditionally, they do Black Ops, and then they'll do Modern Warfare, then they'll do something else. Like, they hand it off between all the different people that, the studios, that handle Call of Duty. So, to see Black Ops 7 get announced before anything else, I wonder if there's something in the background on the numbers that says, "Ooh, Black Ops is our big seller." Maybe, I don't know.
It's Microsoft trying to cash in on the big purchase they made with Activision and Call of Duty. They're really trying to cash in on it and making it worth their money, honestly. And I don't know, usually closers get me excited, but this one was a huge letdown for me. I was maybe anticipating a new IP or something new, even if it was an Xbox exclusive. I would have been excited because it would eventually come to PS5. But dude, be it couldn't be more of a snore fest with me with Call of Duty. They've never closed with a Call of Duty game, and it was just a big letdown for me. I don't care about this game at all.
Yeah, I get you, man. It's
So
popular. Microsoft's buying. You're trying to get its money back. I just the only thing that really drives me up a wall, like you said, is the trailer. The way they presented it, and they gave you the psych out. Oh, it's Black Ops 7. I'm like, you know what, you mother. I saw so many other good games that could have been part of that. You could have just at least sold it. You could have just said, "Hey, as a closer, we're doing Black Ops 7." Phil Spencer came out and said Black Ops 7 is coming. And that's all they would have had to have said, and you would have still made $1 billion. You didn't have to tease me like that.
yeah, exactly. It's a bait and switch because the game's not going to play like that at all. It's just a PvP first person shooter, and they
Mhm.
showed a third person CG trailer. So yeah, we're not going to end on a negative note though. What do you think overall of the Xbox showcase? I thought it was solid. I thought there were a lot of cool announcements. I thought it was very well done. There were a lot of games with gameplay, and the heads of Xbox came on. They spoke briefly, and then they went right back to games. It was game after game after game trailer, and I thought they did really well. And I thought this event was really great, and but the ending not great. So overall, I thought it was a good show. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think from a production standpoint, this game was or this show was amazing. I liked a lot of what I saw. There was a lot of promise in some things. And what I mean by production standpoint, they said game after game. They said here's a trailer, here's a trailer, here's what we're working on. Sarah Bond came on and said, "Hey, I apologize." Essentially, without saying it, she said, "I'm sorry for the hardware announcement. I know that's what you're here for. Silk Song's coming on it. All right, back to the show." And then Phil Spencer came out and said, "Hey, sorry to see you're seeing my face. This is what we had. By the way, here's our last game because that's a trope. You know, it's their encore. Here's our encore." And then they boom, Bob's your go out the door. Like that's how you do it. Give us what we want. Let us as the audience make the. Stop trying to sell me on the latest ad game. I'm sorry. That was a good production. That's how it should be done. I'm just sad it's coming from Xbox and not from Sony or Nintendo.
Yep. Overall, I'd say in all showcases, 75% of it wasn't for me, but that 25% is very exciting. And people that say there aren't enough games are quite uh, quite frankly not gamers, and they don't play video games. There's no fucking reason to say there are not enough video games. We got like 150 announcements in the last 4 days, half coming this year, half coming next, and there are plenty of games. There's something out there for everyone. If it's not for us, it might be for you. And if it's for us, it might not be for you. That's the beautiful thing about gaming. That's the beautiful thing about video games. They're subjective. Nothing is right. Nothing is wrong. Nothing sucks. Nothing is good. It's just a matter of perspective and your love of what you like to play. So play what you love to play. There's something out there for everyone. It's a celebration of video games. And I got to say, this entire Summer Game Fest was a blast. All the shows were very fun to watch. And I would have to say PlayStation did steal the show. I think the State of Play was the best showcase we got.
Yeah, I would agree with you. If I'm looking at it from an objective standpoint, I think Sony stole the show and quite literally stole it. They got announcements for things that could have been done at the Summer Games Fest, but Capcom and everybody else said, "Oh no, it's okay. You can go ahead and announce that."
Exactly. And in our vein of games and how we play video games, I think the State of Play was more resonant with us. So, uh, what did you guys think? What did you guys think of the shows and the announcements? Go on Discord, start having that conversation, talk about all the stuff that was announced, talk about what you're excited for and why you're excited for it. And that's what we do here. And this is kind of a time to celebrate video games. And we got a ton of games, and let's talk about them. Let's keep the conversation going. And this was just an awesome amalgamation of events, awesome announcements. 75% of it might not have been for us, but it was for someone out there, and it's super exciting. And we're of the mind that if it's not for us, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's just not for us. So, but yeah, we want to hear from you. What'd you guys think? And what are you excited for? So I don't think we're done. I think we're going to get one more show, and I think Nintendo is going to do a Nintendo Direct sometime this month, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance that it's going to happen. Nintendo needs to say something because you just launched a console right in between up State of Play and the Summer Game Fest, and I'm not seeing much rippling effect. So you
Yep.
need to get out there. You need to sell your console because the hardcore people like us went out there and bought your console. But what's it look like in 6 months? What's it look like at the end of the year? Are you gonna? You need to start pumping and make it happen.
Exactly. And for that reason, we aren't going to go over the predictions that we had because there are some Nintendo ones in there. And I don't think we're done with Summer Game Fest. So we're going to keep an open eye on the horizon for this month. Summer Game Fest, I don't think is over yet. I think we got one more big show, but we'll see. Nothing's been announced. And we'll keep an eye on it. And you'll hear it not first, but you'll hear it from us, and you'll hear the news that got announced on that Nintendo Direct. So episode was a little longer, but we had a lot to go over, and this is why you're here, to hear our thoughts on the games that were announced, and that's what we're here to share. And yeah, so that's been episode 7. It's all about Summer Game Fest, all the announcements. There were a shitload. We didn't even go over PC Gaming Show. We didn't even go over Indie Day of the Devs. We didn't even go over the IOI showcase. Like, there was a lot of shit. A lot of not shit, but there was a lot of stuff. When I say shit, I don't mean it in a derogatory term. I mean, there was a lot of stuff. 150 plus games were announced. And hopefully you had fun on this episode. And like I said, we want to hear from you. Go on that Discord and let us know what you're excited for, and shoot us questions to say on the next podcast. So I think that's all we have for today. So what do you say we get the hell out of here, Bob? It's been a long one. We had a lot to cover, but I think we covered a lot. So yeah, thanks for listening, and have a great rest of your day.
Take care, everybody.
Shapes of Gaming is a podcast shaped around gaming and, most importantly, our community. That's you. It is written, created, and recorded in beautiful Colorado Springs, Colorado by me, Matt Stenson, and my good friend Bob Harriman. If you would like to be part of this amazing community, be sure to like, subscribe, or follow us on all the social media platforms or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks so much for listening, and always remember, keep the conversation going, and most importantly, keep gaming.